Hello, do you like New Japan Pro Wrestling? Are you a Shin Nihon freak? If so, check out the Super J-Cast with Joel and Damon on the Voices of Wrestling podcast network.
And even if you fucking hate New Japan Pro Wrestling, listen to the Super J-Cast anyway. Not just for our great show reviews, analysis, and pastrami sandwiches, but there's also usually some dick jokes somewhere in the obligatory opening 30 minutes of absolute nonsense we chat about every single week. That's the Super J-Cast for all the best talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, crisps, and pornography.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
You are listening to the Flagship Podcast with your hosts, Joe Lanza.
The fucking sun sucks. I don't know what you people see in the sun. I don't know how you people do the sun. It's just the dirt worst. I want nothing to do with it. I'd be content never going out in the sun again.
And Rich Crage.
This is the dumbest show. I cannot believe these people. Some people pay us $10 to listen to the show live. This is what we've given them for 45 minutes.
Been doing this for 10 years. Why?
We're bigger than ever. More people listen to us than ever.
Why?
And we are live on the Flagship Podcast. I am Rich, and he is Joe. Joe, what's happening? How are you?
Yes.
That is your name. You are Joe.
Yes, I am.
You are Joe.
Hello.
Lon, check in on your New York Knicks friends. Have they texted you yet, or are they still staying in their own lane right now?
They've been mysteriously quiet even when they were up 2-0.
Okay.
I haven't heard a peep.
Yeah.
I think they're just nervous.
Yeah, a lot of nervous energy out of them.
Because I didn't even hear from them up 2-0, so I definitely haven't heard from anybody after they lost Game 3. And
they're down 15 as we go live here
and
right now.
17 as the crow flies. I'm not exactly. My phone's not lighting up either. So, yeah. I mean, that building. Let me tell you something about Madison Square Garden and New York sports fans in general. I'm not watching the game. I've got the gimmick up. The Gamecast or whatever. New York crowds get real tight in situations like this. I guarantee you they're going to get real antsy if the Knicks don't make a run here and if this is one of those games where they're always trailing by like 12 and they can never cut it to single digits, those kind of games.
Yeah.
MSG is going to turn on this team. I'm telling you, I know New York fans. How many times have you seen the Yankees go down 4-1 in a playoff game and the Boo Birds come out because they get tight? These fans get tight. These New York fans. And if they were ever to lose this game and blow that 2-0 lead at home and put this back in the hands of the Spurs, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly. But 3 quarters of basketball left.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's certain buildings where you can feel that like emotional I forget the terminology. Boers and Bernstein used to talk about this a lot with Wrigley Field. Like, it's an amplifier of emotions. I think that's what they used to call it, an amplifier of emotions. And there's a couple MSG is that way. Fenway always felt that way for me. Wrigley Field feels that way, where it's just like when it's high, it's so high, and when it's bad, it's so bad. And there's never an in between. There's never like a murmur.
That energy spills to the players. You can say it doesn't all you want. You can say that all you want. I know we live in the age of analytics. I'm not an anti-analytics guy. I wrote for the Baseball Prospectus, for fuck's sake. I'm obviously not an anti-analytics guy. But that energy, Philadelphia is the same way. It's very much a Northeastern thing in a lot of ways, too. It just, I'm telling you, those fans are going to get tight. And when those fans get tight, the players could get tight. You got to be real resilient. That whole thing about, it's harder to play in New York and Chicago. It's true. For some people, some players, they got thicker skin. They're resilient. It doesn't matter. But for some players, it really is more difficult to play in certain cities. There's no question about it.
Yeah, anytime the Cubs have had like a monumental meltdown, like the one that obviously everybody, always remembers is that the Game 6 against the Marlins in 2003, the Bartman game or whatever. But what people forget about the Bartman game is after the Bartman thing, it just kept it was bad before that. The Bartman thing happens, and then it gets like it compounds one after the other, hit after hit after hit, and then this guy gets sent away. Then a new pitcher comes in and hit after, and it's done. And it's just like that emotional roller coaster of, oh my God, the Cubs are going to the World Series, and then a couple things go wrong, and it's like we're doomed. We're losing this game. We're up 6, but we're fucking doomed, and this game is over. And it was, and then they lost, Game 7 too, and it was done.
Alex Gonzalez make a big error in that game?
Yes. So that's the thing that everybody forgets about the Bartman game.
No one talks about that.
Is after the Bartman play. Routine as routine could be for a pretty good defender too, Alex Gonzalez. Right through, botch it, boom, right off his glove.
Yep.
And it's like, fuck. It's like they're done. It's over. Like you just know they're not going to win this game because it's amplifying those emotions. So that's the Alex Gonzalez. Everybody forgets about the Alex Gonzalez.
Not me.
Botch.
Big time
No,
sports
thank you.
fan,
Yeah.
JL. Especially if it's something that happened more than 15 years ago. Forget it.
Locked in, yeah.
You're not getting nothing past me.
People also forget there was a Game 7 as well, and there was like weird, Dusty didn't want to take Mark Pryor out, even though Mark Pryor was clearly gassed type stuff. So there was a lot going on in that game that wasn't just the Bartman game. I know they did they did a 30 for 30 about it, but I don't know that they really quite.
There's a lot of sports moments like that. Like one that I can relate to is do you remember the Rams-Saints championship game with the bad non-pass interference call?
I don't.
So that was 2018. So there was just a blatant pass interference on a big third down pass by the Saints down in the red zone that they did not call. And at that point, the Saints could have basically, with the Rams with no timeouts, could have essentially taken 3 knees, kicked the field goal, and went to the Super Bowl. Okay, so that's the scenario. So they didn't get the call. They kicked the field goal. But what people forget about that game, okay, is the Saints had an opportunity on defense to stop the Rams on the next drive, and Jared Goff went right down the field, and the Rams kicked the game-tying field goal. People forget that the Saints had the ball first in overtime, and Drew Brees threw an interception. People forget that after that interception, the Saints had a second chance to stop the Rams offense, and Goff took them down the field and put them in field goal range again.
I do actually know what kick. I remember this now because then they were like they were like rioting in the streets, and there was it was right around Mardi Gras and stuff too. So yeah, I do remember this now.
All those dumb threats to get courts involved because of the missed call
that's
and
right,
everything.
The injunctions and stuff. Yes, I remember this now. I do remember this.
And it was a terrible missed call. There's no question that it was pass interference. But again, you had 3 other chances to win that game. You know what I mean? And people don't remember that. They think the game ended on the bad call. And people think the game ended with Bartman. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of sports moments like that where it's like, now hold on a second. They still had a chance to win here multiple times. Alex Gonzalez, routine ground ball. So it's funny that way as Victor Wembanyama drills 2 flagrant foul free throws. Again, I'm not watching the game, but it doesn't seem to be going well for the Knicks.
It is not going well for the old Knickerbockers. No, as of right now, 41-21. So in the first quarter, they've given up 41 points in the first quarter at home in in Madison Square Garden. So yeah, I'm not listening to the game, but I'm sure it's the thing with Madison Square Garden is you never hear like a murmur in Madison Square Garden. It's either just boos or cheers. There's not like some arenas. There's just that like, that just people talking and people just kind of milling about. You never hear that in MSG. It's just
they're either going ape shit. And
or they're
the greatest crowd in the world, or they're tight. Like, I'm not watching this game. I guarantee you, if the Knicks don't make a run, they're going to get tight. The Boo Birds are going to come out. It's going to get nasty. Whereas in some random generic city, if it was, I don't know, fucking Sacramento or something, and they're like, well, this one's lost. And like you're saying, you would just get the murmur for 3 quarters because people are just checked out. This crowd isn't going to check out. They're going to be angry. They're going to be annoyed. And the thing about it is they're going to be anxious and tight because they're going to know that they had an opportunity to lock up their first NBA title in 53 years at home, and they lost both games.
Yeah.
And they're going to get – that's why my friends aren't texting me, to circle back to your question.
They're nervous
tight,
energy.
Rich.
They're tight.
Anxious
They're tight.
And tight.
Right.
The confidence is withering away because they're tight and they're anxious. And my friends are a little older, right? So they've actually been through more of this than your typical whack job 25-year-old. These are guys in their 40s. You know what I mean? So they live through a lot more pain, and they've seen shit go.
Yeah, they lived
south.
through all of Reggie Miller. They lived through was it Charles Smith getting blocked 15
Charles
times
Smith,
in a row?
Reggie Miller,
right.
the John Starks game, all of that. They've lived through all of that, and they're actually the worst age because they're not old enough to remember 1973. You see, like they don't have that. They don't have that. Like the 65-year-old, 70-year-old Knick fan who's calling up WFAN, he's got Willis Reed. You know what I mean? He's got that
got a little Dave
72,
DeBusschere. He's got some Dave DeBusschere in his life.
Yeah, he's got Bill Bradley. He's got he's got Walt Clyde Frazier. He can remember a championship when he was at the great age to win one, like 15 years old, that he saw them win a championship. Like that fan, at least they have a championship. I'm kind of going through this with Reds fans right now because a lot of the Reds fans that I conversate with, they're younger than me. They don't remember 1990. I have vivid memories of 1990 because I was right in that sweet spot. I was like a teenager. That was,
that's the best time. Yeah. The White Sox won a World Series when I was 18, and that's like the perfect time to be, because enough money to go to a couple games, time to watch everything, and just elation the entire time. And no other responsibilities. You just lock into a baseball season.
Lock in.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that matters in your life at that time. And it's like these, and I'm talking to like 30, 35, 40-year-old Reds fans. They don't remember the 1990 team. So when the Reds are going through a tough stretch like they are now, they want to fire everybody. They want to trade. It's like, because that's what the young Knick fan is going through because they've never seen the pinnacle of success. A lot of these younger Knick fans don't even remember the 99 team that went to the final.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Rich, that's 27 years ago.
Oh, it was. Yes. Over and Back podcast, over and Back Classic NBA podcast. We did a watch along of the 1999 Game 5. I just posted it earlier today. That was fun. The final score was 78 to 76, I think was the final score.
Now, that was a different game.
I think the Spurs will get that some point in the second quarter. I'll eclipse that, but it is definitely a different game, an interesting game, but it was a lot of fun. It was actually more fun. I thought it'd be like annoying to watch such a bad offensive game, but it's actually kind of fun. Sometimes it's fun to go watch bad offense for a little bit.
So you enjoyed it?
Yeah.
And you thought you were going to hate it?
I thought it'd be like there's more scoring than you think. It's so labored. It just every possession takes a lot longer, and everything takes a little bit longer to set up. Like there's a point in the game where Latrell Sprewell goes on a run, and it's funny because it's like he just channels like modern basketball. Latrell gets the ball, he pivots to the left, and then he just takes 2 dribbles and shoots, and it's like and it goes in, and he does that like 3 straight possessions, and you're like, wow, there's just the modern NBA right there. And then the next 3 possessions down, they pass it to Allen Houston in the post, and he just like fumbles the ball and it goes out of bounds. And it's like, maybe just do that Sprewell. Like you had it, guys. You figured it out. Like Sprewell would get like a screen at the top of the key and then take 2 dribbles and shoot and make it. And it's like early in the shot clock. And I'm like, well, you guys just unlocked basketball. And then they would be like, all right, no, we got to go to Larry Johnson post-ups for the next 5 possessions. It's like, no, you don't. We should slow it down and get it into Larry Johnson.
So it's got to be frustrating from that standpoint. But It's just a different version of the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's still fun. Well, it's a blast.
Yeah. But we'll keep an eye on that. They're down 22.
Yeah.
It's interesting to why, Knick fan, it's the one thing, the whole culture around the Knicks, like that kind of annoys me though. Obviously, as someone who grew up in that area, not being a Knicks fan.
Yeah, I can see that.
The whole culture around it, and it's just,
I know.
very annoying. Like, I almost forgot that I fucking hate them. Because for a while
they were so bad that it was kind of charming that they still.
I even mean on this run, like this playoff run, it's like I forgot that I hate them. And then when they went up 2-0, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want this.
Right, right. Well, they're very likable. I will say this about the Knicks: this is the most, at least in my lifetime, maybe the most likable Knicks team of my entire life.
I don't think they're a hateable group at all.
No, but like for the 90s, you had John Starks, obviously. So it's like it was very easy to hate.
Yeah.
John Starks and a couple of those other guys were kind of
those were
goons,
nasty teams.
Yeah,
you had Anthony Mason
and Anthony Mason and those guys. Like
Charles Oakley.
Yeah,
those were
yeah.
not,
you had some rough and tumble guys. Those guys were easily hateable. And then I never liked Carmelo. I kind of thought he was a joke. And then they had a couple other guys on those, mellow teams that were okay. But I thought they were kind of hateable too. And so, yeah, it's been the first time that you've had like a Knicks team that's not that hateable in quite a while.
Yeah, I don't find the team themselves to be a team that I dislike, and I'm very easily annoyed, as you know. So
no,
that tells you something there. Carmelo was annoying. Like he's overrated too. Like
yes.
very
let's do it.
Not fun player to watch. Like just Carmelo Anthony. You know what he is? He's the kind of player that someone who doesn't know what they're talking about thinks is a great player.
Yes, it's the IQ test. I always say that about like Kobe. If you have Kobe as like your top 5 overall player all time, I know you don't know what you're talking about, and don't want to have a conversation with you anymore.
Yeah,
type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know.
And rating Carmelo Anthony highly was a good tell that you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah. It's a high volume type of player who, ball, he's not nearly as good as his stat line. Yeah. That's the kind of player Carmelo Anthony is.
He's getting 28 points on 21 shots. It's like, I don't know about that.
Very high volume. Right. Very high volume.
Right. Yeah. He's got 32 and okay.
Often on really bad teams.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah. This is a wrestling podcast.
It is a wrestling podcast. It is not the Over and Back Classic MMA podcast, but you can go listen to that if you want. Game 5 live watch on. It's on YouTube as well, so we watch along with the full YouTube clip. Or the full YouTube replay of Game 5 of the 1999
good strong plug there.
NBA Finals. But speaking of strong plugs, you were on the Super J-Cast. What happened here? I see all of a sudden Unmasked. Super J-Cast Unmasked. Let's pitch this a little bit.
It's their paywall gimmick. That's their Patreon gimmick. So Damon of the Super J-Cast has his little spin-off series. They got their paywall like us, and they do their own thing behind the paywall. And he's got this Unmasked gimmick where he interviews people, and he asked me to come on. And I did it today, and they got it up, and it's on their $10 tier, but I think you can purchase it a la carte for $3.
That's true. Yep.
Don't quote me on that.
$3.
Okay, so there you go. So you can do it a la
Unless
carte
you're on an Apple,
for $3.
which we should. Let me point this out because I did find this out today as I clicked it. If you are listening to this and you're a Flagship Patreon subscriber, or you want to be a Flagship Patreon subscriber, do not use the iOS Patreon app, because if you do that, you will pay more. For no reason. We don't see more. We get no extra dollars from that. All the extra dollars go to Apple for all of those. So when you are on the Patreon app on your iPhone and you try to subscribe to us, or you try to buy a show from us that we put on for sale, a $3 show is going to cost you $4.50 for no reason. All you have to do is go to Patreon.com on any web browser. Go to patreon.com/Voices of Wrestling, flagshippatreon.com. In this case, if you're going to Super J-Cast, just look up Super J-Cast on Patreon. Like, whatever. Don't use the Apple iOS app, because you will pay more for no reason. You'll pay more monthly, and you'll pay more for individual shows to no benefit of anybody but Apple. So
the hosts aren't getting any of that. That's just an upcharge that you're paying directly to Apple for the privilege of buying something through Apple. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
And not only that, the money that is entitled to us, the subscription money that you're paying us, we don't get it for 90 days if you buy it through Apple. That's the other thing that
they just hold it for.
They just hold it for reasons that are still non-discernible to me or you. Payments through Apple are not paid off for 90 days. I don't know why. They don't answer why. There's no, maybe they're investing it all, and it's probably what they're doing. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with it, but it's a delayed payment for like 3 months. So I just wish everyone would stop using Apple but not even just for your own benefit. You're paying extra money for nothing. So,
But anyway, it is available for $3 to
Apple
purchase.
purchases. Yeah. So there you go. We did an hour, and he didn't even tell me what we'd be talking about. He just, I clicked the link. I showed up. He goes, "All right, you ready to roll?" I'm like, "All right, yeah, sure. Okay." And he just slapped record, and we just talked, and it was interview style. He interviewed me. It was basically a lot of it. We don't really talk about wrestling. So I think I'm really pleased with how it came out. It was a great conversation. It was more about shooting the shit and how the sausage is made when it comes to being a podcast host and being involved with wrestling media and things like that. The conversation was obviously built around wrestling, but we didn't really get into wrestling because who really wants to talk about wrestling right now? Or New Japan specifically in that case. It's not a real fun place to talk about right now. So, but he really, he just set me up to talk about myself, which was, listen, I'll admit it was fun to sit there and talk about myself, but yeah, I think people, if you like this show, unless you just really like Rich and hate my guts, I think you'll really enjoy it. And I think it's, you're not going to waste your money if you throw those guys a few bucks and listen to it. So that is available right this second.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit of it earlier today, and yeah, good. It's essentially Damon just interviewing you about kind of the art of doing this thing and the state of wrestling media, and a little bit of you talk a little bit of G1, but yeah, you guys mostly just shoot the shit for an hour and a half, and that's fine. It was a good, insightful conversation. So I enjoyed it too. So definitely well worth your subscription if you want to get a Super JCast subscription, or again, if you just want to buy it for $3. You can buy it for $3 as well. So there you go. That is Super JCast. Plugging everything but our own shit. But we'll get to that at some point. I'm sure FlagshipPatreon.com will come up at some point as we talk throughout this show. But
You just said it.
Whoops, I just did. There you go. Flagship Plus a couple days ago talking AAA Noches de los Grandes Part 2 Collision MLW Fusion. I got a write-up about Masked Mania and their very weird whatever they're doing. I did a Q&A, a nearly 2-hour Q&A a couple days ago as well. So that is up there. My greatest wrestler ever list is up there. I believe that's for free, though. You can just get that and just subscribe for free. You just have to be a member of our free tier, and you get access to my greatest wrestler ever list, plus a little bit of insights and just kind of talking about my list compared to the final GWE list and some other stats and figures on that too. So a lot of stuff for you guys up there at FlagshipPatreon.com. But let's get to this show, the show at hand. Yo,
I got a text from a Nick fan.
Oh,
as you were talking.
What do we got?
Oh, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so this Nick fan texted me moments before the game started with the following, quote, "Swift sitting first row with a Nick shirt on. She has to be kidding. 2 weeks ago, she was in Cleveland with Kelsey, and he was rooting for Cleveland," end quote. That's a valid point, to be honest.
Tell me when he's telling lies. Well, we're gonna get to old Phil Brooks in a little bit, but I gotta tell your Nick fan friend, tell him when he's telling lies. He's absolutely right.
That is fan appropriation by
right. He's like, nah. I lived through Michael Ray Richardson and Bernard King and Charles Smith and Charlie Ward.
And it's true. Sitting there courtside with Kelsey.
Right? No, you're out of here.
Yeah.
How dare you?
What does she know about lap check? Nothing. So then he just texted me as you were talking, very short and simple, quote, "When does the NFL start?"
Oh, no, he's done. He's given up. They're up 2-1 still. He's done.
When does the NFL start?
Nothing perfectly sums up your point than that right there. They are currently up 2-1 in the NBA Finals, and my man, yes, they are losing this game. Plenty of game left to be played, but he's done. He's out. He wants
to know when the NFL starts. He wants to know when the NFL starts. They get tight. I'm telling you, they get tight.
That's just perfectly. Who's he a fan of in the NFL? Is he a fucking Jets fan? It's not gonna be much better.
Oh, it's even arguably worse. Well,
the Browns.
Who's
kidding? Who's worse?
The Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Well,
current Dolphins is a bad situation.
Is it bad? Okay.
It's now look. Look. You don't want to beat Jets or Browns. Like that's just a cultural. It's never okay. But right now, the Dolphins are in the same. They're living in the same neighborhood as the Jets and Browns right now. Put it that way. It's a rough go as a Dolphin fan. So
Brian Greasy's not slinging the rock a lot right now.
No. Although I did get this from the same guy earlier today in all capital letters with lots of exclamation points. Quote. Hot shots. Yankees sweep Guardians. Woo! So, he's got one team he's enjoying, I guess. All caps on that one.
So big on the Yanks. Are the Yankees doing well this year? I haven't followed really much. Yankees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Judge is out for like
I saw that. Yeah. I guess they got 41-26. All right. They're good.
Yeah.
Decent. So, all right, let's talk wrestling. I don't necessarily want to, but no, actually, we got Osaka Pro. We're gonna talk about Osaka Pro.
There's some stuff I like.
There's some good.
I like this week.
Yeah.
Stuff I like.
Yeah, we're gonna talk Osaka Pro. We're gonna talk about All Japan Pro Wrestling's June 6th show. We're gonna talk Best of the Super Juniors finals. Best of the Super Juniors finals. I don't know why I had so much emphasis on that because I'm not really gonna be that happy when I watch it. We're gonna preview New Japan's Dominion coming up this weekend. And talk about the latest updates on Steve Maclin, Shun Skywalker, and Enzo Amore for some reason. I don't know why. You just told me cleaner, I got this. So I don't know what the update is on Enzo Amore, but I guess I will wait, and we'll do that later. I want to tease your hot Enzo Amore scoops that you have here. But let's talk about Phil Brooks, old CM Punk. Lots of eyeball emojis and rumors going around right now around CM Punk. So we've heard the most from J-Cup, who is a prominent F4W poster for many, many years, Twitter personality. He's on our Discord as well. He's in many other Discords. I think he's got his own little Discord. An amateur scoopster of sorts, this J-Cup fella. But he put at jcup2013.blogspot.com. I love it. A throwback to the Blogspot days. A little bit.
Is that an Angel Fire site?
Yeah, his GeoCities got shut down, okay. So he had to move to blogspot.com. So yeah. I was a big Angel Fire guy. Do you ever make any websites on Angel Fire or GeoCities or?
No.
Yeah, you weren't.
No. Yeah. Come on, you see me being picking out fucking backgrounds, and...
gifs. Like you got the construction gif up there. You're like, I better let people know I'm working on it, just so they don't.
Rubbing my chin, thinking about the song that's gonna play when you log in.
Got to put the hit counter at the bottom too.
Yeah, the hit counter. Yeah.
Like, oh, we're up to 27. This is great.
But it's got to be a fancy hit counter with flames on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Good old days.
25. You said.
It used to back in the day. You used to be like, oh man, I got like 27 people that went to my website, and it would be hard. Like, how the fuck do people find that? You know, it's hard to find shit on the internet. Yeah, so if somebody got to your corner of the internet somehow, some way, that was something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Get that hit count up to 1,000. It's like, holy crap. It's unbelievable. So many people are going to my website. But anyway, so jcup2013.blogspot.com. A little bit of what he's been doing. So he did like a Discord stage or something. I think that's what they call it. It's not a Twitter space. It's a Discord stage, but kind of the same thing. He was also tweeting about this. He was making posts. Finally put it up on this Blogspot post. So this is the rumors that he has been hearing. So the gist of what's been rumored, mostly coming from this J-Cup fella, is, quote, Punk was allegedly pressuring AJ Lee to change the finish of her WrestleMania match versus Becky Lynch, which gained him a lot of heat. Now, all this is obviously in reference to the fact that he's been gone and kind of disappeared from WWE television, despite the fact on the Raw after WrestleMania saying, I'm not taking any vacations. I'll be here for every week. And then he hasn't been back since then. So, again, allegedly pressuring AJ Lee to change the finish of a WrestleMania match versus Becky Lynch, which gained him a lot of heat in the office. Shortly after WrestleMania, again, this is just the rumors. Shortly after WrestleMania, Punk was alleged to have been asked for and declined to take a pay cut. So possibly he was one of the people asked to take a pay cut and he declined. I'm not going to do that. The rumor also is that Punk and TKO entered into renegotiations on his deal, but it went very poorly, and Punk allegedly threatened legal action to secure his release from WWE. So that is what J-Cup has had on, or J-Cup. Now, is that the man's name is not J-Cup, but it might be. It's J-Cup, as in the Super J-Cup, if you want, or whatever. But that is the rumors right now from him. And we're going to go to some of the other people in a bit, but I wanted you to react to what Jacob said right there. So thoughts on anything there?
Well, I mean, as noted even by him, and I should note that I have a friendly relationship with Jacob. I chat with him now and then. We shoot the shit. We exchange plenty of unverified rumors and speculation with one another. But even he would tell you that none of that is necessarily verified. And obviously, what he had to say kicked off a lot of actual reporters digging in to see how much of this may have been true or untrue. And none of this is verified. We should say that.
Yeah.
This is, and I think really it opens up a larger and more interesting conversation of another wrestling media conversation. I mean, what do we do with this? We have what is essentially an anonymous, no one knows who he is, and he's an anonymous, essentially Twitter user who is now starting to develop his own platforms with his own Discord and things like that. But he's really just a board poster, Twitter user who has always been someone who is plugged into some degree, who has shared rumors and, to steal from another podcast, rumors and innuendo that cross his desk. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's up to you as the consumer to decide how seriously you take those rumors and those scoops with a Z and that innuendo. But the question then becomes, when you have someone like this who, for lack of a better phrase, we can describe as an amateur scoopster, I think he wouldn't be offended by that term, should legitimate reporters, journalists, wrestling media people, should they even acknowledge stuff like that that's clearly being presented as just, hey, here is what I'm hearing. I'm not a reporter. I have no degree. I'm not verifying any of this, but here's some rumors for everyone to chew on. Is that the kind of thing that legitimate reporters should acknowledge, look into, and attempt to verify or debunk? And I think that's an interesting question, because obviously, if this were politics or sports or the entertainment world, rumors being discussed by, a random Twitter account, a non-professional reporter, would largely be ignored, at least on a large scale, right? No one's going to pay. ESPN is not going to talk about some random Twitter user posting a bunch of unverified scoops on Twitter or in a Discord, when SportsCenter comes on at 10 p.m. The trade journals in the entertainment world are not going to acknowledge a random Twitter user or Discord user who may or may not be plugged in discussing unverified rumors on a public social media platform.
Mm-hmm.
But
particularly someone that doesn't put their name to anything. And again, I'm not criticizing Jacob. I'm just saying this is what we're looking at right now. I have no beef with Jacob at all either. But yeah, it's we're talking about this man named Jacob, and we're talking about Jacob2013.blogspot.com. We have no idea who this person is, what sources he has, what his background's in journalism or writing or anything. It's just an anonymous guy. It's an anonymous
just a guy
user
who knows some people and hears some things and admits in just about every case that it's unverified. But in pro wrestling, as opposed to entertainment or sports or politics, where none of this would get the time of day, because pro wrestling media is such its own bizarre thing, where there's so few, and I just talked about this with Damon actually, where there's so few actual professional entities with people who are legitimate credentialed journalists and things like that, it leaves open, there's room in the ecosystem for these, lack of a better term, amateur scoopsters to just come in and say things and for people to take it seriously, because there's such a lack of real legitimate outlets that are doing real legitimate work. And because of that, when someone like Jacob puts stuff out there like that, it gets taken far more seriously, not from the standpoint of whether or not you believe or you think there's validity to those scoops, but it gets just taken more seriously, even by the people working in media itself. Sean Ross Sapp did a podcast with John Alba today, largely centered around these unverified CM Punk rumors. So that would never happen in politics or sports or entertainment or anything like that. They would never discuss that in Variety or trade journals, or, no one on CNN would discuss, unverified, some random Twitter user saying shit about somebody. I mean, it just wouldn't happen. Not at this scale. So I think that's an interesting conversation to have. It's why is wrestling this way? And I think we know the answer to that. I think I just laid out why. And is the legitimate media, should they be acknowledging this? Or should they just let it just hang in the ether and ignore it? I guess the answer would be, if you feel like you can leverage it for downloads, listens, hits, money, then you're probably going to acknowledge it. And that's really what it comes down to. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, we're talking about it. I mean, we're literally talking about it. So it's like, it becomes a thing where this is the big news story this week. The CM Punk unverified rumors is the big news story right now. And it would almost feel weird not addressing it and not speaking about it. But at the same time, what are we really talking about? We're talking about information that even the source is saying is completely unverified. Mm-hmm. So why do we do this? And should we be doing it? I want to talk through it, because I'm not coming in with a stance.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think the thing that you always bring up, and I think this is a good time to talk about it too, is a lot of this is on the way the wrestling business reports news, and the way, and I'm not talking about wrestling journalists here. I'm talking about the business in general, and the way that we still have this strange, weird industry that you always say, like, a wrestler, you'll report something about a wrestler, the wrestler will quote tweet it like, that's not the whole story. And then if you say, hey, well, tell me the whole story, they go, I'm not telling you the story. And it's like, well, okay, then you're not allowed to say, oh, well, that's not the real story, and then never tell anybody what the real story is. And there's this, wrestling is still this weird, carny business of liars and secrets and half-truths and all this sort of stuff that there's a void of information coming from the top, which usually allows people to recklessly speculate things, and in this case, ask around about things and maybe get some information about things and go wild with stuff like this. Because, look, if CM Punk had, let's take this example perfectly. He comes back on the Mania, the Raw after WrestleMania, and says, I'm not going on vacation, I'll be here every week. And he's fucking gone. And we haven't seen him in weeks, and we have no idea what's going on. And WWE hasn't said anything. They haven't said CM Punk is out because of whatever. They didn't do a storyline to write him out. He just went poof and he disappeared. So what you're doing is you're allowing that information void for people to say, well, what the fuck's going on with CM Punk? Why is he not there? Why is he not around? They didn't say anything. Why did he say he was going to be here and now he's not here or whatever? And for wrestling, they might just say, well, that's just, sometimes guys have creatives, sometimes guys don't, sometimes guys are on the show and sometimes guys aren't. But that would never, if Victor Wembanyama, let's bring an example to the NBA. If he played in this game of the NBA Finals, and then he was just not there for the rest of the NBA Finals. He was just gone. And then they, like, what would happen? People would recklessly speculate. They would be like, what the fuck's going on? And if the Spurs just said, well, that's none of your business. Well, don't worry about it. It's like, well, we were going to worry about it. The guy that's your superstar has disappeared, and he's not on the bench. He's not playing in the game. What the fuck happened to him? He just disappeared one day after the game. What happened? Was he hurt? Is he okay? Is there a family emergency? What's going on? But wrestling, like, because of that information, and that would never happen. The Spurs would say, oh, he's hurt, or there was a family emergency. They would have to say something. They couldn't just cross their arms and say, no, we're not going to tell you. That's not for your information. Like, that information would get reported by somebody somewhere, or the team themselves would have to say something. But wrestling, it's just these things happen. And it's if a guy isn't written out, they just poof go away. It leads to things like this, and it leads to people having questions about it.
It opens it up to reckless speculation.
And I think that's why I don't necessarily begrudge anybody for doing that. I don't begrudge anybody for asking around, because I'm guessing that because this guy has just fucking disappeared off the face of WWE's earth for a couple months, and it's this guy with the history that he has, it's CM Punk, and obviously right around the time that the pay cut story was coming out, like, you're able to kind of ask around. So
there's a lot of dots that can be connected.
Yeah, so I think you get people that then, like J Cup or whatever, who might have some sources in there, and he starts asking, well, what's the deal here? What's going on here? What's happening? And in a normal, healthy sport or business or whatever, I think you would have journalists that would feel comfortable and a wrestling company that would feel comfortable if somebody said, hey, what's going on with CM Punk? He hasn't been around for a while. And if this was a healthy business, they could just say, oh, well, you know what? There's, creative, we're working on some stories, or he's nursing an injury, but we're never going to get that. Wrestling is never going to give you that. There's never going to be that open line of communication. The wrestling journalists are never going to feel comfortable enough to go to the company with that, and the company is never going to give you any information
very rarely.
Very rarely. And if they do, you always have to say, well, why am I getting this? You always have to think.
And in this case, the reporters who have attempted to verify and debunk have debunked a lot of what Jacob had to say. But the only reason they got any information is because all of this alleged stuff was out there. So the company is kind of responding from that standpoint.
Correct. So
it's a lot different than asking than cold calling them saying, hey, where's CM Punk? That's where you might get no-sold by the PR rep that you deal with, or the communications rep that you deal with, or even some of the sources that you might deal with that are less official. Right. But because this stuff is out there, they're more inclined to respond now. And I want to say that that's kind of Jacob's point, as he wrote today and as he's talked about with people, including me. He wants to push the wrestling media to be more proactive in looking into these things. And his stance is, even if that means me throwing my hands up saying, fuck it, I'm just going to tell the world all of these things that I hear that I don't always necessarily talk about publicly, because what's the difference? I don't have anything to lose. My name's not on it. And, I could disappear any day. He didn't say that part, but that's the reality of it. And it worked because he had everybody looking into this over the last 24 hours. So you say whatever you want about him, and whether you think that you could think that that's fucked up. You could think that that's not the right way to do things. But his point of this is nonsense. Why isn't anybody even looking into or discussing why CM Punk isn't on TV? And maybe it is nothing, but maybe it is something. Well, I'm going to poke the hornet's nest. I'm going to put what I heard out there, and I will be completely honest with you. I heard some of the same things over the last couple of weeks. But as I talk about all the time on this show, I'm not saying that to play the I know something you don't know game. And I think our listeners know that. They know that we don't do that. But as I talk about all the time on this show, okay, you and I talk to people, our friends, people in wrestling, people around wrestling, and shoot the shit and hear things. And 90% of it is never going to come to this show, because I'm not comfortable coming on here and just throwing shit out there that, again, is unverified. I don't think that's always the right thing to do. I think most of the time that's not the right thing to do. So we keep shit to ourselves. And then if it's proven true or it relates to another story, then you can weave it into what you do publicly. But at the same time, I don't think, well, actually, before I go down that road, where do you stand on the idea of, okay, here's this almost ombudsman of sorts who's frustrated with the wrestling media landscape, sort of forcing them to do their jobs more intensely and put more effort into the things they're looking into by putting unverified rumors out there? Do you think that's bullshit?
I don't.
Do you think that's the kick in the ass that wrestling media needs? What do you think?
I think it's the kick in the ass wrestling needs, because to our exact point, Fightful, PW Insider, all these places are looking into it, talking about it, asking the people. WWE reps are getting involved, like WWE sources are getting involved. That's what you want. That's a healthy reporting industry. That's a healthy industry that does not just simply say, "Oh, I'm sure there's a good reason," or whatever. What's the reason? Let's find out. Let's dig into this. Let's actually uncover this. Let's shine a light on it. I mean, that's what real journalism is. Real journalism is, okay, here's this thing that smells a little funny. What's going on? Let me find out what's going on, instead of, what typically so much of the wrestling media these days and so much of wrestling news and stuff is very reactionary. Okay, the WWPR rep told me this, so now we're going to report this. It's very rarely, now what's going on with this? Or why is this the case? Why is this happening? Why is this not happening? Where is this person? It's rarely that, because people, like the wrestling media, and a lot of times don't feel comfortable asking those questions. And, oh, it's none of my business or whatever. I shouldn't ask that question. I don't know. The Britt Baker thing, it's fucking ridiculous that we don't know what the hell happened. I mean, just... Tony's allowed to just say, "Oh, I don't have any creative for her." I'd love Britt Baker. I'd love to have Britt Baker back. Okay, well then why haven't you used her in 2.5 years if you love her so much?
Where is she?
Right, where the fuck is she? If you love her so much and she's such a great asset, and I love, she's incredible and all this sort of stuff. Okay, then great. Where the fuck is she? But we've cultivated an industry that feels bad asking about that. It's none of my business. It goes back to the many years ago now. The Kylie Ray thing. Remember, it was like, oh, don't ask about that. We can't figure out. It's like, well, hold on a minute. Was there something?
There could be a scandal here.
Yeah, right. There could be something massive here, and
there could be a scandal, and we're not digging in because it's like we have this abstract idea of having to protect people's privacy. But there could be a scandal afoot, and I'm not saying that there was. Let's please not do that again.
Oh God, no!
But
no,
it's like,
Jesus Christ, no! Please.
But I mean, I was screaming from the rooftops to other media people who were telling me I was wrong, that no, it needs to be left alone because she asked that it be no, wrong. There could be a massive scandal that this brand new wrestling company is a part of. And you don't just, I had people say, oh, what are you going to dig through her garbage? It's like, you're so missing the point here. You're so missing the fucking point. Like, wrestling media almost never behaves like real media. And that's what's so frustrating. So now you have just this amateur scoopster kind of, and you're behind that but here's the thing that's dangerous, and it opens it up to other people just throwing unverified shit out there, and it opens up a whole can of worms from that standpoint too. Now I do want to say this. I don't think in every case it's completely out of pocket to talk about unverified rumors. I'll give you a recent example from us, right? I just went on a Flagship Plus and told everybody what I have heard about the future of Shun Skywalker. Because I heard through industry rumblings from people I know that he's likely on his way to New Japan. I don't have that verified. Not from Shun Skywalker. I didn't talk to anybody from New Japan about that. It's just the industry rumblings that made their way to me. And then the Open the Voice Gate guys, same thing. 12 hours later when they put their show out, they heard the same information, that he's very likely headed to New Japan. Is any of that verified? No. But I don't think that's irresponsible or out of pocket to talk about that publicly, because to me, that's akin to there being an NFL free agent and Adam Schefter saying, oh, I hear the Steelers are in on so-and-so. It's not that big a deal. And if he doesn't end up in New Japan, he doesn't end up in New Japan. But right now, people are talking in the industry, not fans, saying that they think he's on his way to New Japan. So there's a good example of something that's just a rumor. That's just something that I can't verify, but I was comfortable with sharing that with my audience. There's 1,000,001 other things that I hear on a weekly basis that I would never go public with because it would be reckless to talk. I'll give you another good example, and I'm not going to give you the specifics of it. A couple of weeks ago, somebody involved in pro wrestling came to me with a piece of information about a female talent in a major league promotion who hadn't been on TV in a long time. And they gave me this nugget, this rumor that was floating around as to why. And it was very obviously incorrect because she wrestled on TV the next week. If you're picking up what I'm laying down.
Yeah.
I would have never gone on air with that. I would have never, and that's another good example of the kinds of things that I hear all the time that I would never talk about because it's not responsible to talk about some things for public consumption when they're just legitimately rumors that can't be confirmed. And a lot of the time, I'm never even going to look into the things that I hear. Oh, so-and-so's not getting along with this guy. Oh, this guy might be leaving this pro. Oh, this indie's not getting along with it. It's just, you hear that shit too all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, this one just happened to involve one of the biggest stars in the world. And I guess what I'm trying to reconcile.
Well, and sometimes things don't pass the smell test too. And someone in our chat room has a good point. It says, isn't this issue somewhat self-regulating? If people prove to be untrustworthy, they won't be listened to. The only reason this has made a splash is because J-Cup has form. And J-Cup has gotten some things right in the past and has had, seems like pretty good sources. And to your point, like, certain things you hear, if it's from someone that you trust and is pretty noteworthy and you feel like, then even if it's an unsubstantiated rumor, I trust that person a lot. And if they tell me this, I tend to believe that there is no reason that they're lying to me. They haven't really lied to me in the past. I don't understand why they would lie to me in this specific situation. So sometimes you can go with the rumor like that if you hear it from somebody that you trust, that's been that's been trustworthy in the past, and that it makes sense. If you connect the dots, you go, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I will go with that, even though it's an unsubstantiated rumor. That's a little different than, because sometimes you hear stuff and you're like, that doesn't pass the smell test. That seems ridiculous. Are you sure? And it's like, well, that's what I'm hearing. And it's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna forget that and move on, because that doesn't sound right. It doesn't pass my smell test. And the person giving it to you a lot of times is like, I don't know. I just kind of, that's what I'm hearing. And it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Right. And those are the kind of things that you never pass along, unless there's something innocuous, like, oh, I think so-and-so who's a free agent might end up here. That's no big deal. Things like that.
Right. And
Shun
sometimes I will
Skywalker
follow up
example is a
sometimes on those
perfect one.
on some of those crazy ones where I'm like, well, that doesn't sound right.
Sure.
And usually I'll follow up and somebody I ask goes, no, what are you talking about? And I go, yeah, okay, I didn't think so either. And then it's the end. And then I kind of don't follow up again, because it was ridiculous to me in the first place. And a couple people I asked kind of laughed and said, no, that's ridiculous. And I go, okay, yeah, I thought that was ridiculous too. Okay, move on.
But I think Jacob's basic point is, like, if I'm hearing these things, I know that the actual reporters are hearing them. So why has no one anywhere discussed why CM Punk hasn't been on TV when he said he was going to be on TV? Why hasn't anybody discussed it? Why did it take me putting out unverified rumors to get reporters to confirm that he's going to be on Raw next week, or whatever the date is? Because he's going to be on Raw on the 2nd or something. Is the 2nd a Monday?
Some July,
whatever,
or the 7th. I think it's the 7th or something like that.
Whatever it is. Like, he's coming back to whatever, but and he's not wrong. Right? Like, everything that came out today from all of the various people who, looked into this to verify and debunk, they wouldn't have done that if he didn't do his little, Discord podcast. And so he's right. He's not wrong. And maybe...
No, today was an important day. I think or this week was an important week for wrestling journalism. And I think because it shows that you just kind of, sometimes we might have to start rattling some cages around here and just start, kind of getting this kick in the ass. And like I said, less of this reactionary stuff and a little bit more, being proactive, saying, well, this is weird, I'm going to ask, or this is, because like I said, so much of it feels like, until a wrestler tells you something or the PR from a company tells you something, people don't report it. And there's a lot of things that could get asked and get dug into that it feels like they just don't, because it's hard to do that. That's the hard part of journalism, is asking tough questions and getting answers to things that don't have answers. But if it doesn't smell right, it doesn't look right. The CM Punk thing, for God's sakes, everybody's been saying, well, this is getting weird and weird. And as the weeks had moved on, it had started to get a little tough to ignore. The last couple of weeks is like, okay, where the fuck is this guy? Like, where is he? Where is AJ?
That's when I started hearing things. That's when people would start saying things. Oh, I heard this about Punk. And then, full disclosure, yesterday, J-Cup reached out to me and said, oh, here's what I heard about Punk. Have you heard anything? And then, before he had done his podcast or any of that. So it's like, this stuff has been floating around because it's Punk, and because he said he was going to not go on a vacation, and because he hasn't been around, it opens it up to that speculation, sometimes reckless speculation, sometimes things that aren't true, sometimes things that there might be some smoke to the fire, sometimes things that might actually be true. On this one, no one's been able to really verify any of it. And I know that on the Figure 4 website yesterday, that mess of a front page, which very clearly is not being owned, operated, or ran by Brian or Dave, they aggregated the J-Cup thing. And somebody told them to take it down, whether it was Dave or Brian or someone, because then they then edited that article to say, hey, look, this was just a bunch of reckless speculation, unverified information. So I don't know if that was Dave finally putting his foot down and not wanting his name attached to some bullshit on the front page, whether that was Brian who was proactive in doing that. But that aggregation. So there's a good example of a media entity that decided J-Cup is worthy of aggregation, but then someone else higher on the chain saying, no, he's not. It's just a random person. Mm-hmm. So we're making the editorial decision of we are not aggregating this random Twitter account. Whereas Fightful made the decision to do a podcast built around it. We made the decision to open up our podcast talking about this, even though we're attacking it from a very different angle. We're not even talking about the specifics of we could do that if you want. I don't know. I find the rumors themselves to be less interesting than this.
Well, what are we going to say? I mean, if they're just rumors, I mean, how are you going to react?
Exactly. How can I?
I can't believe CM Punk. Like, if we do that, then we're we're not necessarily verifying them, but we're giving them right now. They're just unsubstantiated. I can't say that word. Unsubstantiated rumors. So there's just no reason for for you to say, yeah, I can't believe WWE would ask Punk to take a pay cut. That's bullshit. Like, we can't do that. We're reacting to the rumors that are out there, but we can't react to the actual content of the rumors, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, because we don't know that any of that is true or whatever. So that'd be silly for you and I to have a discussion about TKO. And if they ask CM Punk to take a pay cut, and is that fair or whatever? I mean, I'm not doing that. That's
well. See, yesterday initially when it all came out, and then when I saw that Fightful was going to do a podcast on it, I said to myself, well, okay, if somebody else has broken the seal on this stuff, then now it's okay for me to talk about it because it's out there. So what am I? I'm no longer being irresponsible because now I'm talking about rumors that someone else put out there. You know what I mean? But then today I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't know if that's the more interesting way to approach this. I think the more interesting way to approach this is kind of the wider lens, macro part of this. And I think a lot of times in wrestling, with the few legitimate entities, news entities that we have, wrestling is also very unique in that because it's such a kayfabed business historically and such a closed society, so to speak, fans are very distrustful of wrestling media, and fans love to pounce when wrestling media people are wrong about something. Just look at the abuse that Dave Meltzer takes on a daily basis. Look at the abuse that Sean Ross Sapp takes on a daily basis. On a much smaller scale, look at the abuse that we have taken, even when we've gotten things right, by people saying that we're wrong, and people still applying stories to us that we never reported, claiming that we were right. I mean, it's hard. And it can weigh on you. And I think a lot of times, and I'm not saying that necessarily anybody's right for this, you're gun shy because you're so scared of getting something wrong. You're so scared of knowing something, but then it changing and then looking like you were wrong or you were making it up. Because wrestling fans, the way they consume wrestling media is from a position of mistrust. It's from a position of, you guys are carnies. You're just as full of shit as the people in the business. You make things up. Dave Meltzer gets told he just makes things up out of thin air every day. Sean Ross Sapp gets told that he's in the pockets of both companies every day. Anyone who has ever reported wrestling news at some point has been told, you're a liar and you make things up and you have no sources. So someone like me, and again, I just discussed this with Damon today, I throw my hands and I'm like, I'm out of it. I don't want to do news. It's too exhausting, and I don't need to do it because that's not our primary source of why people are interested in listening to us anyway. So there's a lot of times where I'll dabble in news from time to time when I get that bug up my ass and I think I have something good that nobody else has. But the vast majority of the time, I just throw my hands, and then 2 days later, I'll see somebody else report the thing that I heard that I didn't bother digging into to verify, because I don't want the exhaustion of the story changing or the information being somewhat incorrect or not, and then dealing with everything that comes with that. And I can only imagine the pressure that's on somebody like Sean Ross Sapp or Dave or whoever else when they know that every little thing that they say is going to be scrutinized and gone through with a fine-tooth comb. And again, that's what the money's for, right? So you can't feel too bad about it. And so on one hand, I get it because I've walked in the shoes to some extent. On the other hand, it should be, again, a bigger part of this problem. Get the fuck off of social media, number one, because then you won't feel that pressure as much.
Right.
Just do your fucking job. Just do your fucking job and stop arguing with reply guys if you're Dave Meltzer. Stop getting into Twitter spats every 10 minutes if you're Sean, and then maybe that would alleviate the pressure on everyone to where it's just, I'm just going to do my job. And sometimes things are going to be a little inaccurate. Sometimes a story is going to change, because I do think in this particular business, with how nasty the fan base can be and how, maybe nasty is not the right word, how confrontational the fan base is. They're starting from a point of being confrontational when it comes to the media. It naturally can make you gun shy and protective of your image, because fuck, man, if Dave or Sean or anyone gets too many stories wrong, that's their fucking livelihood. And wrestling fans are much quicker to throw in the towel on wrestling reporters than reporters in other genres are. You could be an NFL reporter and get 5 different free agent scoops wrong, and no one fucking cares. They'll pick on you a little bit on Twitter, but you're not going to lose your job because, you know, you thought so-and-so was going to the Steelers, but he changed his mind at the last minute and went to the Vikings. Because I think people are reasonable enough to understand that people change their minds. In wrestling, you'd get accused of lying. You get accused of making it up, pulling it out of thin air. And that's not me defending the wrestling media in some ways, where I do think that they should dig deeper and try harder to get news. But there's also that relationship that you want to maintain with the promotions and the relationships you want to maintain with your sources and all of those things that play into this too. So, I don't.
That makes it so hard. And I think that's one of the big issues with that we're always going to run into with pro wrestling is the companies are under no obligation to aid the media in any way and help the media in any way. Now, we've seen obviously WWE be very good in recent years. Not as good recently. They were good a couple years ago. They've kind of lost a little bit of this ability, being very good at getting ahead of stories and getting ahead of the media and sending out certain things and making sure that they were proactive. They, instead of the reporters being proactive, it was the company being proactive for all those many years and getting these things out and this gentle activity that we were talking about for years and years and years. And that's cooled down a lot recently. And you could chalk it up to people being more aware of it, or the fact that, new people have been in positions in that company, whatever it might be. But that used to be a big thing, is that the company would sort of use the media for their own purposes and own uses, and that's fine. That happens. Again, we've never criticized WWE for doing that. That is perfectly okay. The problem is you don't have as many secondary sources as you would have in sports, and I think that's one of the things that helps sports out a lot, is that agents get involved in a lot of these things as well, because it behooves agents to get information out there about contracts and negotiations and trades and all that sort of stuff. You have that middleman, the agent and agencies or whatever act kind of as the middleman between the league and the players, and they they'll put out stuff too that is very beneficial to the players and will help the players in negotiations or whatever. But then you can also leverage that back to the team and to the team's PR, and there's that push pull, and I think a lot of that comes from having those middlemen of the agents and the agencies. You don't necessarily have that too much in wrestling. You have a couple guys here and there that go through agents, but they're not as prolific as sports agents are, and I think that is where you get a lot of your scoops and your news and your reporting in real sports tends to be agents or people kind of on the periphery that have access to all this information, that have direct access to the direct sources, but are willing to talk to the media because it helps them in some cases too. It helps them to get those reporting out there. With wrestling, it's just you have the wrestlers and you have the wrestling companies, and that's about it. And the wrestlers are, as you said, are naturally distrustful to the wrestling media. There are several wrestlers out there that understand the benefit of the wrestling media. I will point to Killer Cross, who is fantastic at leveraging the wrestling media to get his name in the news as much as humanly possible and make himself out to be a bigger star than he actually is. But a lot of wrestlers just don't trust the media, or just kind of think it's stupid and won't give any information or whatever. And the companies very rarely will give you real information or real discussions. They feel they're at absolutely no obligation to set the record straight, to give you clarity and information. They don't feel that anything is public record in that case. Like I said, to a sports team, the San Antonio Spurs could not simply cross their arms and say, Wemby's not here, don't ask anymore why he's not here. Like, that just wouldn't happen.
Respect the privacy.
Right, respect his privacy.
To some extent, maybe, but it's like, we're going to try to find out why this guy isn't playing.
Yeah, or the league would say, like, okay, you guys got it. Like, why is he not here? Like, what? Like, if it's whatever it is, you got to just say it, or what? It's got to be something. You have to give us something here. You can't just say, well, don't worry about it, don't ask.
Particularly if it potentially is the cause of it is due to a scandal.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing. Like, not because he has some private matter he's dealing with his family. That's something that might not be poked and prodded at, even though you would know at minimum he's having a problem with he's having an issue with his family. It's a private matter. You would know that, and normal people would be satisfied with that, right? But if Victor Wembanyama wasn't playing with the Spurs because there was some massive scandal that may involve the team and him, the please respect our privacy on this isn't going to fly. And people are going to do investigative journalism and try to find out. And they're not going to be shouted down the way I was when I was just saying, hey, shouldn't we be looking into this Kylie Ray thing a little harder? There could be a massive story here. Or there could be nothing. But we have to find out either way. Right? It's like, so that's kind of the difference there. We should make this point too. Isn't by sort of people looking into what Jacob had to say, isn't that essentially everyone co-signing his credibility?
Yes.
Because you must feel he has credibility on some level if you're going to acknowledge the rumors and then do the work to attempt to verify them, right? So, I mean, people say things on Twitter all the time. I don't see major wrestling sites bending over backwards to acknowledge just random statements made by random people. So, in a way, this almost elevates him. By acknowledging him, you're elevating him to your level. That's exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
That's what Fightful did earlier today with Alba and Sapp, because otherwise you would just no-sell it, which was kind of my original question, right? Like, it's like, what do? Do you acknowledge it? Well, if you do acknowledge it, then you're essentially rubber stamping him as someone who you agree to some extent must be in the know. Right?
Or that they're, what this tells me, the reaction today is two things. It either tells me that they do believe that Jacob has decent sources and respects his information or whatever, or two, there's something going on here. You know what I mean? And there's we've uncovered the light a little bit. We've shined a light. We've pulled up the carpet and we're starting. You know what I mean? Like, I think for people looking into it, like you said, it was similar to what you talked about and Jacob kind of referenced too. If I'm hearing this, you've probably been hearing this too over the last couple weeks. So you know what? I'm just going to go out there and I'm just going to say it. And now the onus is on you guys to sort of say, okay, it's probably time for us to look into this Punk thing a little bit more. It's time for us to really find out what's going on with this Punk thing, and for WWE sources to get at it right away and to go to. That's
kind of my point. They're acknowledging that there was smoke to the fire.
Right. It's one of two. They either truly, really, really, really respect Jacob's reporting, and it's not zero sum. It could be either or. There is smoke to this fire, and that's why
because they've heard at least tangentially.
Because if I said, "Oh, this guy did this" or whatever, and people just said, "No, that's bullshit. I haven't heard that." Nobody would respond. You know, if I just
or if they said, "Oh, I talked to CM Punk last week. He doesn't have any problems with the company," like it would just get ignored.
Yeah, exactly. But it
shot down immediately.
Yeah, it didn't get ignored. It got immediately discussed and talked about and shot down and verified and discussed and just I think that speaks to two things. It speaks, to Jacob's potential credibility, but also I think more than anything that there is smoke to this fire and that this was kind of the uncovering of it. And this was now it's comfortable to talk about this and now it's comfortable to start asking about it, which we need to do more of. And that, I guess, was Jacob's overall point
That's his overall point.
Let's stop protecting the company and stop protecting these wrestlers. We don't owe them anything. It's okay.
Okay, but Sean Ross Sapp's counterpoint to that is basically like, look, man, I can't be talking about every like what I just said earlier. He's basically saying, I can't discuss every unverified thing that comes across my desk or that someone whispers to me because that's utterly ridiculous. I have to report on verified information, right? But Jacob's point is, but I don't feel like any of you are digging hard enough on any of these things.
Or there's something big going on with this specific story, and I know that you guys are probably hearing about it, so let's just let's
So why are you hiding it?
Right, let's rip the fucking Band-Aid off and let's start doing it.
Yeah. So and again, no matter what you think of his methods, no matter what you think of him remaining anonymous, no matter what you think of his whatever credibility you think he does or doesn't have, what he set out to achieve, he achieved. Over the last 24 hours, it worked. It became the biggest story in wrestling because legitimate wrestling media dug in and discussed it and verified and debunked and did all of those things. And if none of that happened, it just would have been another Twitter space or Discord, whatever Discord calls their version of space, that went into the ether that 100 people were privy to. But that isn't what happened. That isn't how it played out. So he achieved his goal. The question is that something that's you think it's something that's needed?
Yeah.
You're on board with that.
I agree. Yeah. I think now again, there's a level to this. I don't need every single person to just, be out there and say, I heard that this person's sleeping with this person and that's why they've been de-pushed. And it's like, talk about this, find out about this.
Now the media is obligated to look into everything that comes on Twitter. So again, I don't know. I don't know what I think about.
This particular story was goofy for a while and got too goofy, and that was my point too. Is that because this thing got so out of hand, and some people might say, who cares? CM Punk was gone for a little while. Well, the guy said, I'm not going away, and then he was gone, and it's CM Punk. So no, there's it's worth looking into a little bit further. That's why I don't think that every single unsubstantiated rumor needs to get talked about and discussed. I don't think if some Twitter guy says, I heard that she's sleeping with this guy, and that's why she's winning the title. Look into this. Find out about this. Like, I don't want that. No, nobody needs that. Nobody wants that. But I think if there's a situation that like Britt Baker, that's a great example on the other side. Where the fuck's Britt? Like, we need some answer there. We need something. Tony can't just say, she's incredible and I love her work and she's great. And it's like, okay, well then where the fuck is she? Like, there are certain things that happen in AEW all the time too that it's like, okay, well, Hangman Page, he was written off. So I'm not curious about where's Hangman Page.
Right.
He was written off of television. They did
and
an
we've
angle.
seen this before with him.
Yeah. So it's like I don't need someone to look into what's going on with Hangman Page. Is Hangman Page leaving? Is he going to go to WWE? I don't need to do that because I know why the guy got written off TV. So
although you could argue a good reporter would poke around on that anyway.
Sure.
It's not a matter of just looking for things you think might be salacious. You should really be looking into everything, right?
Right. If something smells a little funny, then it's worth looking into. And the CM Punk thing, it's been smelling funny for a while, and it was time for people to start reporting it. And I guess everybody was just too careful about it and so you got to rip the fucking Band-Aid off. And Jay Cup, to his credit, did. And then we have Fightful Select saying, quote, nobody in WWE among the dozens Fightful Select has spoken to has heard that Punk wanted out of his WWE contract, and no talent we heard from believed he was asked to take a pay cut. One source we spoke to says he has a story coming up with new merch being produced and dates planned for the summer. On the flip side, PW insider Mike Johnson says over the last several days, there have been lots of unverified claims on social media of CM Punk stories that at all point to an alleged issues between he and WWE and or Punk asking for a WWE release. In speaking with a trusted WWE source today, their only comment was, it has as much truth to it as the stories that claimed Saudi Arabia bought us years ago. Well, we'll go back to that in a second. I want to circle back to that in a minute. While they were not aware of why Punk has been off television, the source noted there is new merchandise being put together and Punk appearances are set for this summer. So this is, as they would say, much ado about nothing. Now, here's a question, Mike. Did you ask why? Well, you're not aware of why Punk's been off television. Like, I find it weird that he was just like, well, they weren't aware why he was off television, so just move on, whatever. It's not much to do about it.
Right, because he's going to be, we know he's going to be back.
Right.
So naturally, where my mind goes is, okay, Mike Johnson and Sean Ross Sapp got the same answer out of maybe the same person, or
right,
maybe
merch being produced, being the he'll be back and merch is coming up.
So that sounds pretty solid to me when two reporters get the same story when they're chasing the same story here. But yes, where my antennas go up is the person doesn't know why Punk hasn't been on TV. Well, you could talk about things being mutually exclusive. It's like, do we know there wasn't a dispute between Punk and WWE and that he could be coming back to TV and also had a dispute with them for the last 2 months.
Yeah, and that was going to be, I wrote that in my notes, is that just because he's coming back to TV doesn't mean that, the alleged, like, there's lawyers getting involved. We don't know that wasn't the case. We don't know that Punk said, fuck you and fuck this company, I'm out of here. And that happened at a point, but in the weeks that has followed, it's died down a little bit, and it's like, okay, fine, yeah. Here's our new contract. He could have renegotiated his deal. He could have been asked to take a pay cut. He could have said, fuck you, I'm not taking the pay cut. And he could still be coming back. Just because he has merch being put together and plans for the summer doesn't mean, and none of that was never discussed really.
Well, I guess technically Fightful said dozens of people said they weren't aware of him having an issue or being asked to take a pay cut. But Mike Johnson his report didn't say any of that, but Sean's did. Right? I guess from that standpoint.
Sean says nobody in WWE among the dozens we spoke to has heard that Punk wanted out of his WWE contract, and no talent we heard from believe he was asked to take a pay cut.
Yeah, I mean, so legwork was done, but again, would it have ever gotten done without Jacob? That's kind of Jacob's overriding point.
Probably not.
And then whether you think Jacob is just making things up out of thin air or, just being reckless in all the wrong ways for passing on things that he heard, but it achieved his goal because he feels from his perspective that nobody really works hard enough on this stuff. And, somewhat from the angle of, well, they're, because these entities are too interested in potentially protecting WWE. That's kind of his standpoint on it. So I don't know. They all dug in today, which in a weird way, you're encouraging, if you're annoyed by him encouraging him to do it again.
You've enabled him. You've enabled him by looking into this. Yeah.
You have enabled him for sure. But at the same time, should your concern, Sean Ross Sapp's concern, you'll use him as the example, should his concern strictly be his audience? And if his audience is interested in what this guy had to say, isn't that Sean's duty to satisfy his audience and their need to know whether what this guy is saying is true or not? You could also approach it from that standpoint. You could also approach it from the standpoint of, do some of these reporters see it as an opportunity to easily debunk something and make themselves come across to the audience or to a new audience or their own audience as someone who's truly in the know? Oh, well, this was nonsense, and I'm going to tell you why. Like, it could also be self-serving. It can be in service to your audience. There's a lot that plays into this.
It's a great story. I'm glad it happened. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to dive in and dig in. I'm curious. I don't think Meltzer said anything about this story. So I imagine,
other than shutting down the front page, which clearly somebody said, you know what, this doesn't. They put it out there, but someone said, no, that doesn't meet my standard, and we don't know who that is. We don't know whether that was Dave, Brian, someone else who, who else is involved? Josh Nason, is he still involved there?
Yeah.
I know he dropped his podcast, but I think he's still involved in the site.
He's still involved.
Or maybe someone on the new owner, whoever owns the front page now, maybe somebody made the decision of, hey, look, this is probably not something we want to be aggregating because it's not a real entity. It's just a guy. Although it appears as though Jacob is starting to build out something. He's got his own Discord, and, so I don't know. What do you feel about someone not putting their name on things? I mean, it does make it like you don't really have real skin in the game if you're not putting your name on it.
Yeah, I don't love it because there was a while in NBA circles, and he has since given his real name, but Network. Remember Network with a 3?
No.
Jason Concepcion. I think he ended up at the Ringer and a couple other places, but he used to have some stuff like in the NBA, but it would be like per network with a 3. And I was like, oh, come on. We got to like, if we're going to report this stuff and this guy's going to be taken seriously as any sort of reporter, we can't have people say, well, I've heard from network with a 3 that like, we need to, I think at a certain point, you're going to have to put a name to it or some sort of skin in the game. And I think and I've told this to Jacob too. And I know that he has taken it to heart because that's why that blog spot got created. I told him, you got to do more than just Twitter, man. Don't just be a Twitter and message board guy. If you got information, put it in a place where you're making money for yourself or you're getting yourself over or people are going to you. Don't make money for Elon Musk. Don't make money for, the F4W board or whatever. Make your own thing. Like send people to you. Make you the source of this stuff, not a secondhand source on another person's website. So I think he's made waves that way, but I do think at a certain point, if you're gonna be respected, I think as any sort of journalist or any sort of reporter, you do have to. I don't know that necessarily we need to know his home address and his social security number, but I do think we can't just have J-Cup 2013 be the person that because it makes it a little too easy to hide when things go bad or if you get too many things wrong, in a row or whatever. Yeah. And maybe to your point, that's a feature, not a bug, that he could just disappear one day and go, all right, well, I'm out. Bye. And some of these other guys can't, some of these other wrestling reporters can't do that.
There's a new statement from Mike Johnson. You want to hear this?
Oh, God. Yeah, I'd love to.
I feel like it's absolutely related to this. All right, here we go. Quote, The amount of pro wrestling stupidity lately is at a level so bad that even for me, I'm ready to tap. I have never seen such a stream of utter trash as people just churn out shit on social media platforms. Then when you ignore it, readers ask why you were ignoring something that is complete trash. And if you do address it, the responses are you must be protecting someone. End quote. That's not the whole statement, but I want to address. That's kind of what I just said.
That's the last hour of this show. It wrapped up in a Mike Johnson quote right there.
Yeah, like he feels obligated because his audience is asking him to address this thing. So what do you do if you're Mike Johnson? If you, like he's saying, if I ignore it, I'm caping for the company. If I talk about it, I'm co-signing what he sees as just trash, as just garbage that has no validity to it. So that's kind of the push-pull that I was just talking about. All right, I'll get back to the rest of his quote. Oh, you want to say something?
Well, one thing I was going to say is, and I think that's where that information void comes in, is that if you don't allow there to be these weird things that go on forever and ever and ever, then there's less of the ability for reckless speculation to happen. If Mike Johnson looked into why CM Punk's been off TV 4 weeks ago and had said, look, I've been looking into it, and I've been given no information of why CM Punk's off TV. The last I heard is that merchandise is being made for him. Still, he hasn't appeared on TV, since he said after the Raw at WrestleMania that he wasn't gonna be there. So we're still looking into this. It's there's ways to kind of fill that information void, but the radio silence on something like this allows for the reckless speculation. So again, I think this is where if someone like a Mike Johnson is looking at this and going, well, this is annoying, I think what you can do is you can fill that gap by being more proactive about stories that are that are weird and funky and don't smell right. Look into them, get ahead of the game, and don't just sit there and wait for reckless speculation to happen and then say, oh, this is ridiculous. You want me to report on reckless speculation? It's like, it shouldn't have gotten to this point. Like
you could have found out why Punk was missing from TV.
Right. And even if you put on paper, and even if you get nothing, even if you get stonewalled and they say, don't ask, and there's nothing going on, you can report that too. I asked why CM Punk has been off TV for the last 2 months, and I was told there's nothing new happening, and he'll be back sometime in the summer, and there's new merch being made for him.
Yeah.
And then that ends it. Then, if someone says, oh, what about this Jacob speculation? You can point to the reporting you did 4 weeks ago. You said, well, I asked them 4 weeks ago, and this is the story they said. So by allowing these things to fester, you're kind of doing this to yourself.
I think that one thing that I have to stress is reporting isn't about magically getting some scoop. Reporting can also be, I asked, and this is what they told me.
Yeah.
I followed up and they didn't respond. That's reporting too. It's not strictly when you have a scoop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, anybody who's done any sort of journalism knows that if you're, especially like civic journalism or whatever, talking to, about building like new buildings in a town or whatever, you're going to get stonewalled constantly, but you have to report every single week. We got
stonewalled.
We asked the board, the village, whatever village you live in or city you live in or whatever, the manager or the mayor or whatever it might be, what's going on with this project? We no comment, or once again, we were told no comment or whatever. That's fine, but that's still reporting. That's still news.
Still
the fact
reporting.
That you didn't get a comment, I always say that a non-answer is an answer. But you don't get that unless you ask somebody. Some of the best answers we've gotten from Tony Khan or Paul Levesque on these conference calls have been non-answers, because a non-answer is an answer. But you don't get that if you don't ask it, and instead you ask, hey, when are you coming back to Dallas or whatever? And then you get nothing, and then you'll get nothing. So, no, yeah, I think you're right. There is a certain pressure to every single time I do any reporting, I have to get something out of it, and it can't simply be, I asked and I was told nothing is going to happen. But then you ask again.
You're afraid you're going to look feckless as a reporter.
Right.
And especially in wrestling, I'm going to look like someone who can't get the scoops if I say that you know what I mean? But that's still reporting. If you're anyway, he goes on, quote, everything is backwards now. It makes very little sense to me. I work hard to break news that is stolen by others immediately on social media or in their daily reports in the same order I report it over the course of the day. I feel like I have thousands of kids who I get to feed at the expense of actually making more money doing what I've invested decades into working on. I feel very, very old and almost as if I'm at... I botched that. Hold on. I feel very, very old and almost as if I am handicapped at doing my job because I actually have morals, attempt to confirm my stories, and actually try to have respectful relationships with the subjects I report about. as opposed to just spewing trash and trying to score clout and traffic on monetized social media sites that have free reign to do whatever they want to make their pennies. All of it makes me shake my head. So if you feel the same way I do, here comes the commercial. Go sub to our elite section and make me feel like not all is lost. Or don't. I'm turning off my phone and going to a movie. Can't wait to see what shit is online when I get home. Maybe someone has disappeared from TNA because they have mysterious heat because they stole a cat from the nursery with Colonel Mustard's kendo stick. And then in all caps, he writes, fuck these people, end quote.
Wow. Mike's mad.
So,
you know what, though, Mike? Turn that phone off and don't turn it back on. Don't turn it back on.
But he generally doesn't, to be fair.
Right. Wake up the next day and post your shit on the elite and never, ever look at that phone ever again. You don't have to.
We have our criticisms of Mike Johnson that are very, very public. But the one thing that we also always say about Mike Johnson is he does not exist on social media. And he's the smartest of them all for that. It's just, here's the news, poof, I'm gone. And I guess he does explode like this every now and then. But I'm sure today was very frustrating for him, because he's feeling this push-pull that I'm talking about. But what I'd like to know, though, is all of this alleged news he's reporting every day that's getting stolen and putting on other people's sites. He reports like one scoop a month.
Yeah, he gets almost nothing. Yeah, I know.
Like, I always ask this: what's going on behind their paywalls? This like a maven of fucking scoops that people don't know about? Because I feel like about once a month he drops a bomb that's very useful and generally accurate, and then you don't hear from him again for another. Like, don't you feel the same way?
Of course, yeah. Anytime I go to
Johnson?
PW Insider, I find the one bomb that we talk about once every month or whatever, and the rest of it is just like weird PR and like weird Tommy Dreamer updates from TNA or whatever. It's like a lot of it is
or
not
just
very
TV recaps.
Yeah,
and
it's not.
like that.
It's not really the bad. Like the person that he sounds like he's like Sean. I get Sean Ross Sapp. Everything that he reports gets aggregated immediately and passed around immediately. Right. And I could see him being frustrated about that more so than anybody. But Mike Johnson, it's like you report two things a week.
Dave, too, like, for years, Friday was the big day on the news sites because they were just lifted everything from the Observer.
Yeah.
Remember, that was that way for the longest time. You know, people like Raj Geary made a fortune just lifting and now he treats Dave
the
like
best
a piece
would
of
be
shit.
if Dave missed an Observer week or whatever. Like, first off, you'd get like if they didn't actually like follow Dave all that much or follow the Observer all that much. They would just wait till Friday and grab the Observer and copy and paste or whatever. So like they didn't know like he'd be gone in Hawaii, and people were like, hey, what's going on with the Observer this week? Like, you'd see them get all like nervous and weird, and then that day would just be death, and then they would have to come up with like
news on the news sites.
Right. It's like, well, what happened, guys? Like, no news.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah, when if there was no Observer, or if the Observer was late or something. But yeah, I've always wondered what goes on PW Insider. It seems like one big news story a week from Mike Johnson, and then Dave Scherer writing email questions to himself. That's like that's what goes on over there. It feels like.
Dave,
I've
you
never
have
been behind.
momentum of a runaway trade. How are you so good? Thank you.
We should bite or just Dave. I'm hearing these like something where that opens him up to be able to bash Meltzer. Like, or
it's
half
so
the questions
bad.
he writes to
so
himself.
Bad.
But
I got to steal that gimmick.
Like,
it's a great gimmick. It'd be a lot of fun to answer my own questions and then just pat myself on the back about
always
it.
in the same vernacular and syntax that he uses, like so it's obvious too. Like it's always in his style of like you can read the questions and it's all his voice.
Dave,
so to speak,
AEW does a terrible job of telling week-to-week stories. Don't you agree? Yes, reader, I agree. And then there's a long-ass paragraph.
There's never a citation of who sent it. There's never an email. No, it's just so anyway, Mike Johnson is hot about this. I don't know. I don't know where. Yeah, I mean, I see where J Cup's coming from. At the same time, I genuinely feel like this couldn't happen in any other. Maybe just other stupid industries like comics or video games. Because
I don't know enough about the industry of those, but probably video games. I feel like this dumb shit probably happens.
Where as a fan, you could probably break in and like be credible. Where like in politics, that's not. I guess there's big time bloggers in politics too that break through, right? I guess that's a thing.
Yeah,
but they're more pundits than reporting on news. That would be more like punditry rather than, So I don't know. It's The wrestling is unique in that way, and I guess that, I think that Mike was gotten to today. I don't think he's going to quit. But I kind of see where he's coming from. Where it's.
I hope he enjoys that movie, whatever that movie is.
Yeah, what do you think he saw?
I don't know. What's at the theaters right now? I'll look up.
What are you going to tomorrow with the nurse? What do you?
Nothing. I haven't gone to the movies in decades. Let's go with Fandango. What was it? Movie Phone? What was the big website in the 90s? Like Movie Phone, wasn't it?
God, did you just Fandango? Does that still exist?
Yeah, Fandango does exist. Yeah, Movie Phone is technically still around. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fandango. What's in theaters right now? He-Man Masters of the Universe. That's what Mike went to go see, right?
Maybe.
Scary Movie, the new Scary Movie. Maybe he needed a laugh. You know what? I bet Mike needed a laugh. Maybe he went to Scary Movie.
Unwind a little, slap the knee.
Right. Something called Pressure. I don't know what this is.
He's a big theater guy, so maybe he went to see something like very uppity.
Oh, okay. Well, what about The Devil Wears Prada 2?
Maybe. I don't know how.
There's The Breadwinner with Nate Bargatze, with Bargatze. I forget how to pronounce his name. I don't think
he's doing movies now?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like if there's something with Daniel Day-Lewis, that's where Mike Johnson.
Okay. Maybe a late showing of Michael. Maybe he's trying to get he didn't get a chance to go watch Michael, so he's going to try to get in there on
What's
Michael.
I don't even know.
The Michael Jackson biopic.
Oh, the Michael Jackson gimmick. Yeah, maybe. No.
So that's a showing around me. I don't know. Where's Mike live?
New York.
Oh, he probably should just go watch the Knicks. Go watch the Knicks, Mike.
Theater guy.
Go to fucking.
I don't think he's a sports
movies.
guy. He loves the theater. He loves the theater.
Okay, well, maybe we should get into theater reporting. It's probably
maybe
pretty dirty,
he'll go see Cats on Broadway. Maybe he's going to see Cats.
For the first time ever, he put the keyboard, he closed his laptop and said, you know what? I'm going to go see Cats. I've had enough of this.
Right.
I've seen the billboards every day of my life for 47 years. I'm going to go fucking see Cats. Enough of this.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he finally bit the bullet.
Right.
To go see Cats. Cats run ended on May 11th, 2002. So
did it really? No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Very apropos reference from me, suggesting he should go see Cats. See, you didn't grow up in New York. Growing up in New Jersey, we would get commercials for the Broadway shows. So I would always know, you'd always know what was on Broadway. And we had the same fucking commercial for Cats for about 17 years. Like you're just watching like Jerry Springer or whatever, and you'd get the same commercial for Cats at the whatever theater it was at, and they would never update it. It was, you could tell it was filmed in 1982, and but I guess it ended its run in 2002.
We may have got the same one because Cats had a long run in Chicago as well. So I'd like to maybe at one time.
What do you call your theater district? Do you have
a just the theater? Yeah, theater district. I think it's not. It doesn't have a kitschy name like Broadway. I would say what do you call the Chicago? I would just call it like the theater. I think it's just called the theater district. But let's see what Google would say here. Chicago Theater District.
Is it by Halsted Street?
Sorta. It's not on Halsted. Yeah, it's close. Close enough. Close enough.
I can't wait to visit Halsted Street, Chicago.
You're just gonna go drive up and down it. Yeah, it's a grid. The city's a grid, so you can just go right down it and.
Yeah, man, looking for the one man gang.
Right. Well, yeah. I don't think you're gonna find many people that look like one man gang on Halsted Street.
Halsted Street?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
It's a long street. You never know.
Yeah, maybe north, maybe the north part of
Halsted Street.
Yeah, you might find a couple.
No, I want to see the one man gang.
Yeah,
that's where he hails from.
Yeah.
Maybe having a street fight with somebody.
Right. Barry Windham.
Knee pads over his jeans. Maybe Hawk and Animal show up. You never know. All the Chicago favorites. Christopher Daniels. He's not from there, right? He just wrestled there.
He's not. Even though he wrestled there for a long time, Christopher. Answer my damn question about it. But anyway, that's not what you called. All right. I think we're... Anything else from Johnson or anybody else on this punk stuff?
No, I mean, we should probably talk about some actual wrestling. I'm sure that segment was very boring to a lot of people, but I think it's an important conversation to have. The bigger picture scope of what went on over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think any of those people are going to be mad at me like they usually are? I don't think so. I thought I was fair.
No, I think we were very fair here. And again,
fair.
Like I said, I'd like to hear what Dave has to say. He'll probably have something to say on the Observer Radio this morning or tomorrow morning.
He's kind of no-sold it. Like
he has
you
so
said.
far.
I mean, he hasn't really addressed it. I don't know what Wade Keller has said about it. Probably nothing. He kind of exists in his own little universe. So, yeah, I don't know. Those are the OGs. But, PW Insider was on it. Fightful. That guy that left Body Slam and is doing his own thing. He had some things to say. But
finish.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. The problem with that guy is anyone who openly states he wants to work for WWE someday. I don't, I'm going somewhere else for my news.
Yeah, that's tough.
So that's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah. Doesn't work for me, brother.
No. Best of Super Juniors, by the way. Knicks surging back here. They're still down quite a lot, but they're on like a 25-2 run or something
down
here.
15.
So,
They're down 15.
They were.
This is the big run.
This is it. Anyway, we'll give you live commentary. Express written. The NBA has given us express written consent to do the. You always said one of your inspirations is Mike and the Mad Dog, so let's go Mike here and just go. Hold on a second, Wemby.
Yeah.
I missed it. Okay. Well, I got the rebound.
Technically not play-by-play. So
right.
Can't get in trouble.
Because he'd be so silent about it for so long. The best was with the golf.
Right. Yeah.
He'd just be like, Mickelson stepping up here. Let's see what he does.
Yeah.
And then there's like silence for a minute. Oh, good shot. Good shot. Oh, yeah.
Because dog, this is a big bird. This is a big birdie putt, dog. Because, Tiger's surgeon, so it's a big birdie putt here. This is a big sequence for the Spurs. They got to fight off this run because you don't want to go into the fourth like with the Knicks cutting it to 12 because that building will be alive. The building will be alive, Rich. It'll be the opposite effect.
Real quick, has your friend texted you anything more updates about Taylor Swift? Because there's something. Okay, she is wearing a shirt. They showed her during one of the cuts because like they scored and then they went to commercial and like the NFL, you're legally obligated to show Taylor Swift every time she's there.
Yeah.
She's wearing a shirt that says Stevie Nicks, but Nicks is spelled
by like the Knickerbockers.
Yeah,
right. Is how it's spelled, but it's like a double. What do they call it? Double entendre. How do you pronounce that?
Double entendre. But like, what?
Yeah, weird.
That has nothing to do with the Knicks.
Well, she probably is a big fan of Stevie Nicks.
Okay.
And she's also at the Knicks game. So she thinks it's cute, I guess.
Wear a fucking John Starks jersey, all
Right.
right? You can cut it.
What are we doing?
You can make it a little tank top or whatever, but yeah, wear a fucking Michael Ray Richardson jersey, come on.
She
Patrick,
likes her
you wear a
Fleetwood,
Patrick Ewing jersey.
She likes her Fleetwood Mac, and she wants everyone to know it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stevie Nicks with the Nicks spelled. Get out of here.
It would work if her name was Stevie.
Right.
And then I don't know. Is Kelsey with her? He's a Cavs.
I didn't see him. I just saw a lot of ladies. Maybe it's a
part
bachelorette
owner
party.
Of the Cavs too. I think he's the part
has he got
owner
some stake in the game? He's got some stake in the game.
I think he bought some stock in the Cavs.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him.
Like 8% or something.
Yeah, I didn't see him there.
Well, you know what? I respect that. He's like, fuck that. I'm a Cavs.
Yeah, exactly. For the Knicks, that's a rival. That's a conference rival.
You think I would ever go to a Super Bowl if the Rams lost the NFC Championship game? Why? No, I'd be sick.
And then wear the jersey of the team that knocked you out of the playoffs?
Right. There's not a fucking chance. Right. So I actually really respect that he's not there.
Yeah, I guess I'll cheer for the Seahawks now.
Yeah, oh God, please. Rather shave 6 months off my life. Are you kidding me?
So
yeah. Not a fucking
I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that Travis is there, but it seemed to be a group of ladies there. No Travis.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. He probably said, forget that. I'm not going. I'm staying home and watching Mad Men. You go to the fucking game.
Right. I got a Mad Men rewatch. I'm working my way through.
They just knocked me out. I got to finish up The Bear. I'd rather do that. I'm not watching. That's what a self-respecting sports fan would do. He wouldn't go watch the team that knocked him out win the NBA title. Fuck that. And honestly, she should be supporting him in that.
She should.
Because again, what does she know about Dave DeBusschere? Probably nothing.
Right, yeah.
Probably. I mean, come on.
Probably not. Yeah, I'm guessing nothing. Yeah, but
what
does she know?
not a thing.
Data pusher.
Nah, yeah, I
love
mean,
Data
really.
Pusher. That's a great.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
You know, it's
Cassie. You didn't know shit about Cassie Russell. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing.
nothing. Not the first thing. You know? Fucking.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Yeah, so that's a good move. I would have less respect for him if he was at the Knicks game with his soon-to-be wife wearing Knicks gear. I mean, that's just humiliating.
Right. Would you respect him if he was in the front row, but kind of like he's like wearing nothing? He's just wearing like a.
No, that's what I mean. No, I wouldn't, because his wife is there rooting for the team that just knocked his team out.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, and I don't buy for a second that she's some hardcore fan of the Knicks. Like, that'd be different. Like, okay, my wife is a Cowboys fan. I'm a Rams fan, right? Like, she came into this relationship as a Cowboys fan. I can't get on her for rooting for the Cowboys. That's her fucking team. You know what I mean? Like, the Cowboys beat the Rams in the NFC Championship, and she's
Don't have to worry about that anytime soon.
She's more than entitled. Not a Dak Prescott believer, huh? She's more than entitled to sit there in her fucking Cowboy shirt and fucking root for the Cowboy. I just don't buy that. When has Taylor Swift ever shown herself to be a Knicks fan?
Never.
Is what I'm saying. She doesn't know the first thing about Joe Lapchuk. Nothing. Nothing.
What does she know about Hubert Davis? You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Derek Harper. Does she know anything about Derek Harper? Hell no.
Kenny Skywalker.
That's you always bring up Kenny Skywalker.
That's my go-to. I love Kenny Skywalker with the high box top.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, he should have won the freaking dunk contest. There was some year I went back and watched one of the dunk, and he's great, and he loses to like Dominique, and I'm like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Yeah. Dominique does the same windmill dunk 6 times. They're like, all right, there you go. And I'm like, no. Hold on a minute. Kenny Skywalker's out here doing.
Was she all fired up the year they got David Lee? I don't think so.
Right. They signed Amari Stoudemire from the Suns. She's like, oh, hell yes. Hell yes.
Finally, that piece in the pivot we've needed for years. No, I don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
She was really hoping Herb Williams would finally get a ring in that 99 finals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did he coach that team?
No, he played. No,
he was still a player?
Yeah.
He coached them later, though, right?
I don't know if Herb ever was.
He had a little run. Yeah.
Did he?
Had
Okay.
a little run.
Did he have a little run? Was that when they had a new coach every it was like, all right, we have to hire Larry Brown. Okay, that's not going to work. All right, now we're going to hire Phil Jackson. Okay, that's not going to work. Like, they had a little run where they were hiring bad coaches. Well, okay, he did.
Remember? Yeah. Herb Williams definitely coached the team. Do you remember when they hired Lenny Wilkens and he fell asleep on the bench?
He was like 87 years old. Like, let the guy go.
Yeah. It was great.
Oh my God, yeah, he was an assistant 2003 to 2014. Wow.
Mm-hmm. He's there forever, yeah. But he jumped in when guys got fired.
Yeah. He worked under Don Chaney and Lenny Wilkens. Yeah. When Wilkins resigned in 2005, he took over as head coach, but then they hired Larry Brown, and then he went away. So
yeah.
And then he was the acting coach for the last 2 games of the 2006 season when Larry Brown got sick because he was also an old guy.
Right.
And then he was fired. Brown was fired and then hired Isaiah Thomas became the head coach. that didn't go well either.
Yeah, they really tried a lot of guys, the Knicks. A lot of guys. Mike D'Antoni.
She didn't live through all this. She didn't live through the Lenny Wilkens, New York Knicks.
Falling asleep on the bench.
Yeah.
I highly doubt it. Now, if I could be proven wrong, that's fine. That's fine. We're told she's good friends with Stevie Nicks. All right, great.
Well, I'm glad, but that shirt's annoying.
Well,
that shirt sucks.
I'm not quite as annoyed at the shirt as you are.
No, the shirt. No.
Words.
The shirt sucks. Get more mad about the shirt. It says Stevie Nicks.
Yeah. KNICKS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wear a cute jersey, right? Wear a Karl Anthony Towns jersey.
Taylor Swift has never been afraid to carve her own path.
Well, that sucks. Yeah.
Never
This
been afraid
bad
to carve
sucks.
her own
This
path.
bad sucks. So, yeah, Andrew Daniels in the chat room sums it up perfectly. He strikes me as someone who told her girlfriend she was going to the sports ball game with her Knicks shirt.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe.
She's doing I'm too cool for sports, but I'm at the sports thing.
I don't know. She went to all those Cavs games, though,
Yeah.
with Kelsey. But how does that work? She had to be rooting for the Cavs then,
Oh,
right?
she
when
was
they played
very
the
much
Knicks?
rooting for the Cavs, yeah.
See, this is a bunch of Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
with my
Get
friend.
more mad. Get more mad about this.
I'm with my friend. Yeah, 2 weeks ago she was in Cleveland with Kelsey rooting for Cleveland. Yeah, that's a bunch of I can't.
And now she's wearing a shirt that says Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get you mad. I'm not going to
can't-
get you mad enough about it. That's all right. That's fine. We'll move on.
How do you team hop from series to series? I mean,
Right.
that's
Yeah,
just.
you can't through the playoffs. You can't do that.
And you're enough of a winner in life. You're a fucking billionaire. Do you really need to fucking bandwagon your way all the way to the NBA title? Do you really need that too in your life? You really need that too in your life? When I'm watching the Reds bullpen blow leads every night, you really need that in your life, Taylor Swift, every night? When I've got the worst bullpen in baseball? We really need that. Unbelievable. Now I'm mad. Now you got me mad. You
All
did
right.
it, Rich.
Are you mad about the Stevie Nicks shirt yet, though?
Yeah, all of it. The
there
whole
it is.
thing.
All right, good. We can move on finally. Well, here's something that won't make us mad. Best of the Super Juniors, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Shin Nihon, brother. Let's talk about it.
Are you a Shin Nihon freak?
I am a Shin Nihon freak.
Are you? Okay.
No. I'm less of a Shin Nihon freak than I've ever been. Let's go right to the finals here.
You know what? Can I quickly talk about this? Did you watch the semis?
Oh, we should talk about the semis. Yeah, let's do the semis first.
I can quickly.
Yeah, I watched them.
that
We
if
can
you
talk
like.
about those.
Oh, you did watch.
I did. I watched the semis. Yeah.
You did watch the semis. Okay. I'm stalling as I get out my notes. All right, here we go. So, very quickly, I thought that Kosei Fujita versus Robbie Eagles, obviously tag team explodes here, was a very good match, and I thought Eagles goes into his closing sequence at one point, but he gets caught in the inside cradle, and the story was Kosei Fujita had the weak leg because Eagles was working over the leg the whole time to go for the Ron Miller special, and it looked like he was going to win it, but again the inside cradle thwarted him off. He did hit he went for the turbo backpack, but Fujita then reversed it, and it was incredible to get him in position for that thrill ride, and then put him away even with the injured leg. I thought they had a 4-star match. And I thought that match was excellent. And as far as Yo versus Master Wato, a much more technical match. I thought Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita was more of like what people call modern indie style, but really it was indie style from 10 years ago. Like it was more of an AEW style
Very fast
match.
paced. Yeah.
Very fast paced, and the cardio on those guys incredible. Whereas Yo versus Master Wato was a much more technical match. They were exchanging a lot of head and arm chokes and things like that. Yo, and I guess we'll talk more about this in the final, is just inexplicably super over in front of the New Japan crowd. And obviously he beats Master Wato. I preferred the Kosei Fujita Robbie Eagles match. What did you think?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. No, Fujita and Robbie Eagles. That was a real. It was fun because you have the tag team partners, so it's the idea that they know each other. You know, they know everyone's in and outs. They know everyone's moves. They know everyone's weakness. They know each other better than anybody could possibly know each other, and it worked that way. It was like two guys that were very equally matched. You know, going out there and like you said, kind of not throwing bombs isn't the right terminology, but it was fast. It was a very fast-paced match where everybody kind of was doing, you know, their big moves very often. And like you said, Robbie Eagles, the whole goal of his entire match is I'm going to hurt your leg, I'm going to put you in that Ron Miller special, and then that's how I'm going to win this thing. I have, and it was a great plan. Like it was working perfectly, and then Fujita got him with that inside cradle, and I thought it was really cool. Like the finish too was, you know, super emotional too, as like Robbie Eagles is, you know, he's not hurt from the loss. He's just, he's sitting there on the mat like, fuck, I had it. That was it. I had it. And the guy, he just rolled me up and he just beat me. And then Fujita, go to him there, consoling him a little bit. So I thought that was really cool. I thought it was a good way to do that match and a very fun match. And, I didn't watch a whole lot of this tournament. I just, bits and pieces here and there, but I did enjoy this. So this was at least some solace in a tournament that, largely I didn't enjoy much of anything that I saw from it, even though I will admit I did not watch very much of it. So this was good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
They didn't do the thing where one guy wrestles like with more of an edge, like a little heelish, like sometimes you do when tag teams face each other. They just wrestled, and Fujita won the match and he went to the final.
Yeah, it was let's just both go out there and wrestle our asses off and let the best man win. It was a very respectful match, but it was also, well, I'm gonna beat you because if it means I gotta destroy your leg and put you in my little submission dealie, I'm gonna do it because I want to win the best of the Super Juniors and hold that big trophy with the big wings on it or whatever. So that was cool. Yeah, it was a really good match. I enjoyed that. Yo and Master Wato put me to sleep. I thought it was just really, really boring. Nothing really happening, and Master Wato is just such a fucking zilch too. It's unbelievable that there were people really trying to champion this guy a couple years ago, and it was like, all right, are you sure? This is the guy. This is the guy.
Wrestling.
Are you sure?
They wrestled.
They wrestled
arm bars and head and arm chokes and things. I think it would have worked better if they went on before the other match. You want the faster paced match on second, right?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that? But anyway, the final, Yo versus Fujita.
Back-to-back years, by the way. Same final from last year.
And I have to say, and I'm going to reference, I just talked about this with Damon today, and I'm going to talk about it with you. There's an argument that Yo is the most over person in New Japan in front of the live crowd. And these people, at least on this night and on the night of the semifinal, but especially the night of the final here in this, this is the old Ota build. It has a different name now.
Yeah, it's I forget what it's called. Here, I have it in the notes here. Ibarra Wave Arena Ota, but it's the Ota City General Gymnasium.
Yeah, the Ota City Gym that everyone's super familiar with. He was so over in this building, and his whole routine, the whole chaos gimmick that he does, right? Where it's and he's taking the moves from the old chaos members. He's doing Rainmakers. He's doing the Bumaye or the Kinsasha. What the fuck does Nakamura call the running knee? Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
The Bumaye, I think that's what you're talking about. But
yeah, and it getting huge pops because he's doing all these callback moves to he's doing all the moves of ex-members of Chaos.
Which he did last year too.
Yeah, but it's over as fuck now. I mean, it is over as fuck. I can't deny that. I don't like watching this guy. I find him to be very off-putting.
It's so cheap. I find it really cheap. I just find I'm doing the Rainmaker. I'm doing this move. I'm doing that move. It's easy to get fans. It's like fan service shit. You know what I mean? I was really bothered by it. I did not like it at all.
It's reminding people of huge stars that are gone, right? You're doing that too.
Right, but listen, yeah. Here, because I feel like they're cheering Okada. They're cheering Nakamura. They're cheering these guys. These guys are all gone. They're not coming back. You know what I mean? So it I don't know. It bothered me in a lot of ways that it maybe shouldn't have, but it did.
You don't have to like it. I'm not telling you have to like it. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it either. All I'm saying is it's mega over. The whole routine is mega over. He was taunting Robbie Eagles at ringside, and Robbie's like, "Oi, hey mate, oi, pay attention to Fujita, oi,"
Oi, Faustus.
Yeah, and
give me a couple. I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay. So that was kind of the essence of the match, where early on, Yo is taunting Robbie. Robbie's telling them to pay attention to Fujita, and it's just stunning how over Yo is now. He might be the most over person in New Japan, at least in front of the crowds. And look, this drew a great crowd. They had 4,000 people for this show. I think the official number was a little bit below that. As I scramble, 3,969. Nice was the official number for this show with Yo versus Kosei Fujita on top. And a lot of times with tournament finals, you're like, I don't know when the people bought the tickets and all that, but I can tell you that the 4,000 people that were there were super into Yo, and I just get the sense that he is someone who has managed to get over big in a promotion where people struggle to get over. Konosuke Takeshita has largely failed largely failed to get over as the champion in this promotion, and he's one of the 5 best wrestlers in the world. There were some mitigating factors there. There's the idea that a lot of New Japan fans are keeping him at arm's length. I understand all that. But just as an example, and meanwhile, this guy is just over like a motherfucker and drawing a big house for this final. And for all of the aping of the chaos moves and all of that, he did win it with his own move. And I thought that was important. There was a spot where Fujita was just fighting for that submission. I don't know what he calls the submission. I'm bad with the names of the moves. You guys know that. And Yo is just fighting to the he fought for that sub and got it on, and Yo fought to the ropes, makes the big comeback, does some of Nakamura's shit, does some of Okada's shit, but he won it with his own move. And I thought that was important. I thought that this geek was maybe going to win this match with someone else's move, which really would have spoke to Rich's point that that's kind of a cheap way to get over, even if it's working. But he didn't do that. And then in the aftermath, because, Dookie is the champion, and he comes down, and Sho comes down, and instead of doing the thing where they just play the numbers game and beat the shit out of him, the House of Torture, they got murked here. I mean, he fought them off. And the lasting image of this was Yo standing tall with his trophy, giving a little speech, while Sho is rolling around on the ground and Dookie's rolling around on the ground. So, he left them laying, and that sets him up now for this title match against Dookie. And here's the thing. He should win. He should win.
Yeah.
I don't have to be a fan of the guy or like the guy to call it like I see it. And the right call here is Yo beating this guy for this title.
Yeah, it's depressing, but it's true. I guess that's the thing with the chaos thing and the thing. I don't like the guy. I don't want to ever see the guy wrestle ever again, but he's clearly over. The chaos thing was over, and he should definitely win the junior title. So I don't know what that says about New Japan right now. I think it says exactly what you think it does, because I don't think he's very good, and I think he's kind of lame, and I think he's annoying, and I don't really like him, but he's over, and he's probably going to win the junior title, and he should. I mean, he absolutely should win the junior title. If
this
it's not,
promotion's not in a position to bypass something that's hot.
No, because very few things on the show are hot.
Just pounce on it, man. Take advantage of it while it's hot, and if it wasn't the plan, change the plan. He should win the title.
Yeah. I'll say I was encouraged in the post-match because I was ready to go like, oh my God. Because when Sho and Dookie came out or whatever, just beat him up, I was like, fuck off. Here we go again. And then he beat him up. And
he beat him up. That's what
He beat him up and stacked him up and then did his promo, standing over them. And I was like, that's actually kind of fucking cool. Like that's like the most vulnerable I've seen the House of Torture in years.
It's like you always talk about, why don't baby faces just ever look good and courageous
and tough? They never do. Never.
Right? But this guy just beat them both up. He was outnumbered, and he just murked them both and left them there. Right. So from that standpoint, and then he just took his fucking trophy and he skedaddled out of there. And look, it's not like the guy wrestles poorly. I mean, fundamentally, he wrestles well. It's like the chaos thing isn't working for you. The chaos thing, I would imagine, isn't working for a lot of people. But to the live fans and the New Japan fans, it's working and it's over. And he is a good fundamental wrestler and all of those things. And I feel like, it's such a no-brainer move to just have him win this title. This show drew. I mean, this drew. And you can't say it wasn't them because it was a tournament or whatever, because he was so fucking over that you get the sense he had something to do with it. So, yeah, that's the best super. Anything else on the best of the Super Junior final?
Nothing else for me. Yeah, I got nothing else. Did you watch the undercard of this? Because there not much happened. That's I think worth.
As tempted as I was, I had a lot to do this week. I had to wash my hair, return some videotapes. You know how it goes.
Oh yeah.
So no, but we can talk about Dominion, which is coming.
Yeah, dude. So Dominion 614 in Osaka Joe Hall. I think this card's a war crime. I don't know what you think about this card. This card sucks.
Let's see. Let me take a look.
Let's okay. All right, Charlie Day. Let's get a look through it. Okay. New Japan World TV Championship. Konosuke Takeshita, your champion. He's a great wrestler, right? Konosuke Takeshita?
Yes, of course he is.
Well, he'll be in the ring scrapping it with Sonata.
The returning Sonata.
The returning Sonata.
I like these TV title matches. And he has performed miracles with the likes of the Last Outlaw, Chase Owens, and huge. So why can't he have a good match with Sonata in a 15-minute time limit, right? You're not down on it, huh?
Yeah, it's Sonata. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not. You're not going to convince me.
That wasn't a good
sleepy
sell.
ass Sonata. It was a good sell. I will say. He did have a great match with Huge. So you're right. The possibility of having a good match with Sonata. Well, yeah, maybe not great. Wasn't a better than expected match with Huge.
Perfectly crumulent match.
Well, that's for Hugero in the year 2025 or was it was 2026? I think that's an accomplishment.
I was in March. I did in fact non-ironically enjoy the match, but great. I don't know. That's pushing it a little, but it's Hugero. You get what you do what you can do with a Hugero, right, as a wise man once said, right?
Yep.
So you do what you can with a Hugero. You do what
one
you
of my
can.
Favorite
with the
DMs we've ever received is
so great. Yeah.
You do what you could do with a Hugero.
With a Hugero. Yes. I was like, wow. So the rep is the same in the locker room too.
Okay.
Got it.
Right.
Noted.
So there you go.
What else we got?
All right, so you have no disqualification. The rule book is thrown out for this one.
Yes.
No DQs. El Phantasmo, ELP versus Jake Lee.
Jake Lee.
Joe, I want to take back.
Face paint?
Whatever. Several months ago, you said you're going to give Jake Lee a chance. Remember your Give Jake Lee a Chance campaign? How's that going for you?
I gave it a chance.
How's that
it's
going
not
for
going
you?
Good.
No.
I gave him a chance.
Remember when I said there was no point in giving this fucker a chance, and you said, no, I'm going to give it a chance. That might be good. Who knows? I'm going to give it a chance.
Might be good. You know.
Yeah. Did it go the way it always goes with Jake Lee?
Well, it's I made no predictions. I simply said I was going to give the man a chance. I thought he deserved a fair shake.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't deserve a fair shake because it's always the fucking same, and he sucks.
He dropped the Mr. Peanut routine. Give him credit, right? Give him credit for dropping a failed gimmick.
He's done that several times because he has a lot of failed
several
gimmicks.
Times. Now he looks like, I don't know, he belongs in a deck of cards or something. I don't know what he's doing now.
Who knows?
He's listen.
A fucking dork.
I may have said he had that weird Shinsuke Nakamura energy for a while.
Yeah.
Right. And I still think that's true. Right. He still has the weird Nakamura energy, and he will bring that in full display when he has this no DQ match against ELP this Sunday.
With the rule book thrown out. Yeah.
The rule book is out the window, so it's an open world for these two, and I can't imagine the hijinks they're going to get up to.
Yeah, no disqualification, but no countouts because you can't get counted out. I don't think you can get counted out in a no disqualification match, right? So they could brawl all over the building or all over Japan. Nothing can contain them at Dominion in Osaka Joe Hall.
Which opens up all kinds of interesting possibilities.
Right, for the mind of Jake Lee, for sure.
Right.
Taichi and Yuya Uemura versus Rohei Iwa and Zack Sabre Jr. Now that's a good professional wrestling match. I got no problem with that.
I think the winners of that are going to walk on down to that ring later on in the night and challenge the Knockout Brothers. I think that's what we're going listen.
I don't know if they're challenging the Knockout Brothers. I think they're going to challenge the IWGP Tag Team Champions. Yeah.
Is that what you're throwing your support?
I am throwing my hat in the ring there. Mystico versus El Desperado just randomly on this show. It's fine with me.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
Really risky to put Mystico at the middle of the show, though, because I hope the intermission's after this.
Yeah, no intermissions, though.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're going to have a long video package for the following never open-weight title match. Ren Narita putting the strap on the line against Aaron Wolf.
Ugh. Wow, this is the feud that never ends, huh?
Wait till the G1 blocks come out. I think, do we get the G1 blocks on Dominion? Because it'd be like, Aaron the Wolf, Ren Narita, like, Don Fale, House of Torture.
Every time.
Right.
And B blocker, same block. You're like, fuck.
Right.
How are they all in the same block?
God damn it. It'd be like Walker's story. God damn it. Oh, God damn it. Right. To be a blocker.
And then Don Fale, Rendemita. Yeah. Then they go, B blocker, Yujiro Takahashi. Right?
Rast out Chase Owens. It's like, oh God. I don't think Chase.
All of them.
I don't think Chase. You want the whole? You think the B block is just
an entire block of House of Torture and Aaron B blocker. Yes. You're like, no, don't say B block.
No.
And it is B block. Yes.
House of Torture. Yoshinobu Kanemaru. You're like, oh, God.
Why is
Kanemaru Yoshinobu?
What are we doing?
Like, what?
How is he in this? Yes. That's what you're going to get.
Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah. Yeah.
House of Torture. No. Show.
You're just throwing them all in.
Yeah, with his double face.
The whole gang.
It's heat, brother. Think of the heat.
So he has to get through all of them.
Yeah, think of the heat. He's got to beat every single one of the House of Torture members.
And then quite literally, every night, he has the same exact match. They just do the same match every night. Aaron Wolf versus a new member of the House of Torture.
Oh, God. All right, well. Maybe he wins back the never open weight title here and then can move away from the House of Torture.
Listen, if he defeats them all in the
B blocker.
The B blocker of the fucking G1.
He's good to go.
You never know. I go, B blocker, Naraku. You never know.
He's back. Yeah, he's back.
You never know.
On loan. Yeah.
Yeah. They'd say, Naraku.
Yeah, House of Torture, Naraku. Yeah.
And you're like, fuck this.
Yeah.
No.
Enjoy your daily G1 audio, Joe. All right. IWGP Tag Team titles, the Knockout Bros versus Great Okan and Hanare.
You think you're getting the title change here?
I think I'm getting the title change.
Why?
I think I'm getting the title change. I just feel like they feel like it's time to do something different with the
I don't
Knockout
think they're going to
Bros.
stop the momentum of a runaway train that they got going on with the Knockout
I wouldn't.
Brothers here, right? I think they're going to stick with it. Again, there's not many over acts in this company. You'd think you'd want to just put the pedal to the metal on one of them and keep them going. I mean, that's a bold prediction to pick Okan and Hanare.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I just got a feeling. I got heat. I'm feeling the heat. I feel like we're trying to get the United Empire all gassed up and juiced up here over the next couple of months. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's some benefit to having them
put the belts on.
Yeah, put the belts on. Yeah, strap them up. Newman's got the title. You know.
Yeah.
IWGP Global Heavyweight Title 3-way match. I wonder who's taking the fall in this IWGP Global Heavyweight Title 3-way match, and I wonder why it's a 3-way match. I can't imagine what could be happening here. Andrade versus Drilla Maloney versus Shota Umino. Do you think Andrade is involved in the fall? I do not.
It's a real Latino man. Yeah, I'm sniffing what you're. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm picking up what you're laying down. I understand what you're saying here.
I feel like Shota's going to pin Drilla or something like that. Or, you know what? Strap up my man Drilla. It's time.
Yeah. I mean.
Maybe Andrade just beats Shota, too. I don't know. Maybe he just beats him.
Well, why is there 3 guys in
it?
Yeah. Like, you wouldn't need to do that unless you're playing some games, right?
Yeah. Anyway. Ready for semi-main? IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title, Dookie versus Yo. I wonder, Joe. I'm curious. Do you think House of Torture is going to be up to their old antics in this IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title match? I think they will.
I think you're going to see some shenanigans afoot. I think there's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Little bell ring, little whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
The pipe. I think you're going to see it all.
Yeah,
I think you're going to get it all.
That come with that. Yeah.
I think you're going to get a Walker Stewart goddamn it or two in there too.
The title change. They should do the title change.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then IWGP Heavyweight title, Callum Newman versus Yota Tsuji. So I ask you, you put the title right back on Tsuji? You have Callum get this one win, establish himself, go right back to Tsuji, or do you have Callum hold this thing? Through the G1, because I guess it doesn't have to necessarily hold it through the G1, but we're getting pretty close. Let me see what our upcoming New Japan shows are, like big shows before the G1. Is this it? I mean, G1 starts July 11th, so yeah, I got whoever wins here is probably going into G1 as champion.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a great feel for it. I know he's going to attack some crotches, as many of our Japanese followers are very upset about. and I could see them going either way. I just don't have a great feel for it. I would keep the title on Newman. Why not? But I guess it'll all come out in the wash, and we'll figure out what the idea is and the plan. Nick's cut it to 1, by the way.
Oh my God! Well, you're ahead of me now. I only saw that it's a 4-point game. You've now passed me in the. Let me see if I can speed this up.
Maybe you're ahead of me, and the Spurs just went up 4 again.
Nah.
104, 103.
No, see, I'm at 104, 100. So maybe
spoilers.
Let me refresh. You're spoiling the basketball game for me. Let me see if I can.
Someone's hitting a 3. Someone's hitting a 3.
That's a hell of a game.
I think that Rolando Blackman just drained a 3, so you could just fast forward right through that. I could definitely name more 92 Knicks than current Knicks. There's that's a lock.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt you could do that.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't have a feel for where they're going with this, but I would keep the title on Newman. But that'll depend. It's all predicated on what plans they have coming out of the G1, and
it feels like kind of classic Gato booking to the established title reign that we've talked about a lot, where that you get that first title win, now you establish that this guy can win the title, and then you send it right back to the guy you want to have the champion.
Yeah,
but there is benefits to having Newman remain that. I mean, it's a little funky to have it happen throughout the G1 with Newman as the champion, but I don't know. I could see it either way. I definitely see there being apprehension to have Newman remain champion through the G1, but I also think that it's, if you're going to do more with that Ospreay story, particularly maybe you do it at, you could do that match at Forbidden Door if you really wanted to. They're not going to, but I think that's going to be something that's going to happen more in Japan than in America. But
do they want the belt off of Newman
to do that match
when they do that story?
Right.
Which would make sense. Which would then say, okay, well, you put the belt back on Yota Tsuji. We've established Callum Newman as a top guy, and then now we're free to get Will Ospreay in the mix with him without that without the finishes interfering with the IWGP title, right? So that kind of be the idea there. So yeah, that would be the best argument for Newman losing the title for whatever they're going to do with Ospreay. But who knows? They might not be. He might not wrestle Ospreay till like Wrestle Kingdom.
Right. Could be a while. So we're maybe holding things for that story. It's a story that's not. They're probably not concluding that story in August. It's probably going to go a little bit longer. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So that's New Japan. That Dominion. I don't know. That seems like a pretty shitty card. I have no interest in watching Sonata face Takeshita. I have no interest in watching Jake Lee. Ren Narita, Aaron Wolf sounds awful. The 3-way, my thoughts on 3-ways. Dookie and Yo sounds terrible. Newman and Tsuji sounds good. The tag match is probably going to be okay. Knockout Bros, United Empire. Mystico Desperado will be okay. And then the Taichi. It's not. War Crime might be a little strong. But I don't know.
It's better than you make it out to be. I mean, geez,
No, it stinks. That sucks.
I've seen worse New Japan lineups lately than this. I mean, it's not great. I'm not like chomping at the bit waiting for it, but I think you're being a little hard on it.
Yeah, well, they deserve it.
I think you're going to sit down on Sunday and you're going to rub your hands together and you're going to fire up the New Japan world.
It's time for some Osaka Joe Hall action. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're going to.
I'll be met with Sonata immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to help matters at all.
Have a great time.
Old Sleepy Sonata. Anyway, you know what I did have a great time with? Osaka Pro. You want to talk Osaka Pro?
Of course I want to talk about
Let's talk about Osaka Pro. Ultimate Spider Junior. Oh, you got it first of all. What do you got?
Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't have a full show hit tape since the last time we talked about them. Bushido was the last time, right? They had the full show. Now they've been putting out a lot of digests, and they've been putting out a lot of like clipped events. Like the 27th anniversary 2-night deal was clipped, and I did go back and watch that to kind of brush up on the company. But I was afraid that Osaka Pro was going to do the thing they usually do and just, disappear for the rest of the year and not put anything out other than these little 30-minute digests and whatnot. But no, they put out the full show for the Ultimate Spider Junior 20th anniversary and Taco Yakita 21st anniversary shows.
Celebrate two anniversaries at the same time. It's like, you got friends and their birthdays are close enough together. It's like, let's have one big party for both you guys.
Yeah.
So.
And at back at the anniversary show in April, Ultimate Spider Junior, he retained that light heavyweight title against Suzaku. That was one of the matches that really, I think they showed that maybe not in full, but it was the least clipped of the matches on that show. And my boys Aran Sano and Tiger's Mask, they had another successful tag title defense against Ruya Matsufusa and Sho Mizuno on that show, which looked pretty decent with the clips that they showed. And then night 2 of the anniversary, Matafusa successfully defended the Osaka Pro title against Kuzuwaka Mahara. That's that big boy who we're going to talk about in a second. So I'm glad I brushed up because it's been so long since we've had a full-on Osaka Pro show.
Yeah, was that April or February, that Bushido?
Bushido? Yeah. I'm looking at it now. Hold on.
It feels like it's
Bushido
been months.
Was March, early March.
Wow, yeah, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, and that's not uncommon where you go really now. I mean, now if you want, you can keep up through the promotion through the digests and all of that. But I'm more of a full show guy, and the clip shows. It's a little better than like the 30-minute digest version of things. But actually, let's watch.
I don't like watching clip shows. I don't like watching clip shows.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not like it's it's.
I don't get a feel for what's actually going on, and it just clips.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not.
I agree. That's a foul. I'm watching this last possession by the Spurs here.
Oh, we're gonna do sort of kind of play by play. Yeah, I think we're on the same. Are you at 30.3 seconds? Castle just went up for a rebound, got fouled.
Dead ball,
we're there.
Dead ball, 30.3.
Yeah. Right.
So they opted for this mid-range jumper here, and Castle comes out of nowhere for the rebound, and he gets fouled on the putback.
Yeah.
So these are huge free throws.
He's going 1 of 2 here.
I mean, Wembanyama missed 2
Yep.
on the last possession.
Mm-hmm.
So,
your Knicks fan, the guy who was looking for Dolphin season, has he responded yet, or
no?
Okay,
he surely will if they win.
He's locked in right now.
So
he feels like an idiot.
I mean, this 30.3 will go another 20 minutes. I mean, they've got Knicks have 2 timeouts, Spurs have a timeout. So he made the first.
We have to add our own commentary to this, or else we're not under fair use. So,
yeah, we are live. We are live. So
let's talk about more 1992 New York Knicks.
Yeah. Well, the Spurs take a 1-point lead. Knicks use one of their 2 timeouts. Mike Brown going to draw something up here.
Okay, you can't describe the action that much.
I can't. You're so nervous. Why are you so anxious all the time? What's going to happen, Rich?
Express written consent from the NBA.
Are you going to jail?
Maybe.
Are they coming for you?
I don't know.
Because I said Mike Brown's going to draw something up here.
I grew up with those warnings, but I guess they never came for the Mad Dogs. They never came from Mike, so. They're
going to throw you in jail? Why is the chat yelling at me that it's Dominion? Did I not call it Dominion?
No. But you said like, it's not a bad card, and let's be honest, that's the destruction of Bipu ass card. Like that's the destruction of Bipu ass card. Yeah, that's not fucking Dominion.
I agree with that.
That's their point is like, it's fucking Dominion. It should rock, and it doesn't. But here's the thing with the roster, and we've talked about this for a while.
I don't expect it to rock.
Yeah, where do you go? What better matches are you booking?
Rock? Like, what you put together a show.
Right. The roster kind of stinks. Like it's very shallow. we had a New Japan roster discussion like several weeks ago, and it's like, yeah, there's not much there, so I get it.
I mean, I've got Guido on the line. You put together card Lee Connell. You try it.
You put together a better B block than House of Torture, every House of Torture member, and Aaron Wolf. You try.
Oh, Lee Connell 623. You put together a better card. Yeah. That's what Guido. I know Guido. I agree. Get back to whatever you were doing, Guido. So yeah, I mean, what are you gonna book? Where are you gonna go? I agree that should not be a Dominion,
but it is.
But it is. I mean, that's modern.
The reality of 2026 New Japan is that is your Dominion card. So just, I don't know what to say. Yeah. Accept it or, yeah, whatever. But
I side out here. Brunson against Castle. He's penetrating. He's looking for a foul. Gets the ball back. He's gonna reset. Drives. Wembenyama blocks the shit out of it.
Nowhere.
Ball. This could be a breakaway for the Spurs.
Darren Fox,
you got to foul him. No foul. Foul. 8 seconds left. Here comes Brunson down 1.
No, that's Jose Alvarado. Brunson. That's Jose Alvarado there. Yeah.
The headband. I didn't see the headband. What happened there?
I'm surprised. Fox should. I know what he was trying to do there, but I would have maybe held the ball. You were leading. Let them foul you, right? I know he thought he had a fast break there. There. I would have held that ball. Let them foul me.
Good point. I think he was trying to just put it away.
Yeah.
I think he thought he was going to get fouled on the way up. What's going on? I don't have sound on.
I
Did they call timeout?
I don't know. I don't have sound on either. I'm doing a show, so I don't have the sound on. So they probably called timeout.
The Spurs didn't foul there. They had to call timeout. Right?
I'm sure
because it was chaos.
Timeout. Yeah.
All right, so they'll get the last shot with 5.7 seconds left here. What I would do is get Derek Harper into game because I trust him with the ball in his hands in a spot like this, the veteran point guard. Yeah, and then I'd dump it down to Pat Ewing, of course.
Let him get a couple dribbles in the post, get those shoulders and those elbows out, and then
run somebody along the baseline and try to run a screen. But if nothing's there, he could take that trademark baseline fadeaway for the win.
And Anthony Mason can post up, and if it happens to bounce his way, he can just try to get it up as quick as possible. Yeah.
Got to get Oak in there. He's got 4 fouls though, but you got there's 5 seconds left.
You need Oak, yeah.
You can't. There's, it's So we've got to watch this final 5 seconds. You can cut this.
Sorry, Osaka Pro. Sorry.
I can't. I'm not gonna be able to properly concentrate on what I'm saying about Osaka Pro.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Tsubasa and Billy Ken Kid facing off in this.
Yeah, but
oh, that's an over and back. Oh, I hope they're challenging in that. That's an over and back.
Is that what's happening? Because we have no sound.
Oh, they're letting it slide. Like maybe they don't have any challenges left or whatever, but that was over and back.
Yeah, it sure looked like it. All right, well, here we go. This place is going to fucking explode.
I know. This is going to be up for grabs if they make this.
This just has to be some hokey jumper, right? You can't go into the lane with
No, they don't do that anymore. No, it's a jumper, yeah.
Well, they did on the last possession.
Well, yeah.
They just did on the last possession. Oh, he made so sick.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's so sick. Oh, the Knicks are such luck boxes. Unbelievable.
Well, unfortunately, they'll have to review it 1,000 times. Oh, no, there's time left on the clock.
No, there's time left. Timeout Spurs. They're going to inbound half court.
1.2. That's not going to.
1.2.
Oh, Calipari's in the house.
He's fucking Adam Sandler. See, I can't condone this. I can't approve of this.
Spree and Stack and Camby in the house. All right, there we go. They're all there.
John McEnroe.
Yeah, that's fucking annoying fan base. Fuck all these guys. They hate this shit. They hate the Knicks.
Is that dopey mayor who doesn't collect the trash when it snows? Is he there?
Yeah, you're talking about.
Yeah, the mayor, the dopey mayor.
Oh, the current mayor, or the because what's his face?
The current mayor, the guy that.
Who was there was one of the older guys got drinks spilled on him the other game.
Oh, I don't know.
What was his name? Like a white-haired dude. Pretty recently, like last 15 years. I forget his name, but he got a drink spilled on him. Yes, yeah, Bloomberg. Yeah, he got a drink spilled on him.
He showed his face, huh?
Yeah.
Bloomberg showing his face.
Yeah, he wasn't in like the celebrity row, but he was in the front row. He was in the front row, like baseline out,
Yeah.
Oh, there's too many celebrities on the court. They should not allow this game to
I mean, that was a terrible shot. They shouldn't have been rewarded for that.
Yeah, no.
I mean, to be rewarded for that is a fucking joke.
Yeah, OG Anunoby bailing Brunson out there.
I mean, that is why sports stink, because they had no business getting a basket there with that shot.
Sucks, yeah.
It's a horrible shot.
1.2, you got that. I mean, you got to
just throw it up towards the basket. Right?
Yeah, throw it up to Wemby, I guess, but
he could get fouled too.
They're not going to call that. You think they're going to call
a
foul?
Hammer, you got to hammer him. I mean, you really got to hammer him. Oh, I saw the idea there. I saw the idea though.
Yeah.
It was a good idea. He came off that curl and he was open.
Damn. Fucking Knicks. Now I'm mad.
I know, because we cannot have this.
No, they
can't
cannot
have this.
We're still hearing about the fucking 73 Knicks today,
and
we can't have this team win this.
Yeah.
We can't, but they're going to. And
I mean, they came back from like 30 down.
Yeah, it's
This is lore. You're watching
largest comeback
in
finals history. Yeah,
29 points. This is the absolute lore that they set up here.
Yeah, god damn it. All right, well,
that's
sports.
The modern NBA. It's no lead is safe.
The Law and Order girl.
She just
that Law and Order lady just runs and hugs everybody all the time.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know. She was at the game the other day and just was hugging everybody.
See, I don't like this just random collection of celebrities.
I agree. It sucks.
Random button celebrities. I
don't like the Lakers used to do that too. It's like, here's this guy or that guy. Fuck off, all of you. Go away. I don't want Law and Order lady running on the court to hug everybody.
Yeah, why is she allowed out there?
I don't know. You're right. There was a lot of celebrities on the court. I was saying they were celebrating, and there was 10 celebrities that were running onto the court to celebrate. And I'm like, hold on a minute.
All right. Well, that's
can't allow this.
I don't want to see any more of that. Okay. All right. So that brings us to Osaka Pro Ultimate Spider Jr. 20th anniversary, Tako Yokita 21st anniversary. I love how you position this ahead of the All Japan. We've got some All Japan to get to.
Yeah, Osaka Pros, great.
You slotted this in ahead of the All Japan. I thought for sure you'd be going to this last. All right, so we had Sho Mizuno and Tsubasa opener against Billy Kenkid and Kazuaki Mihara. I just noted that Mihara got a shot at the Osaka Pro title on the anniversary show. He's in a tag here with Billy Kenkid. Billy Kenkid, opposite of his boy Tsubasa. That used to be us, Tsubasa and Billy Kenkid.
I know. They've exploded. They're bitter rivals now. No, they're not the bitter rivals. They're just
not. Well, listen, I wouldn't call them bitter rivals, but I thought the stuff between Mihara, who calls himself the bombing evil bear, by the way,
which perfectly describes him. If you've ever seen this,
perfectly describes him. The stuff with him and Mizuno, I thought was awesome. I mean, I couldn't believe the pace they were working for one guy's a really big guy, and the older mass dudes were kind of laying low at that point. But this was a 12 or 13 minute tag match, which was worked at super high impact. Quite honestly, I thought it was the best match of the night. I thought this was my favorite match. I thought it was the best match on the show. Mihara, of course, was coming off the title match loss to Mutafasa, but Tsubasa wins this with an awesome back bridge submission, and it just had ridiculous pacing. And the work here was just, pound for pound this year in Japan. I mean, this is going to sound crazy. I think the best work is happening in Osaka Pro of the promotions that I'm watching. I'm not watching any Joshi, and I'm never going to. But the men's promotions that I'm paying attention to, just pound for pound, like a match like this.
Oh, this was high-level work.
This was high-level work.
This was fantastic, this tag match.
Yeah.
Just the crispness, the fluidity, it is everything you could possibly want. It's not to say that this is a great match. It's going to be a match of the year. It's not. No, it's not that. But it's just a really, really, really good, well-worked 13-minute match. And that is a rare sight in today's wrestling. It's just these guys they're all in the right place at the right time. They're all doing everything right. It's just, it's hard to describe. If you never see, you got to watch this match to see what we're talking about here. But this is high-level work here. This is high-level tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
From all four.
Yeah, it really was. And I thought it was the best match of the night. I thought it was better than the main event, and I really liked the main event.
The main was really good, but this is better. No, this is better.
This was better work. So next up was Hub defeats Goliath. Now, here's the thing about Goliath. I can't believe I just set something up by saying. Now, here's the thing about Osaka Pro's Goliath.
Osaka Pro superstar Goliath, yeah.
This man is listed at 6'8", 374. I am highly dubious.
6'8"?
6'8", 374. There ain't no way, right?
I don't know about that.
There ain't no way. They have this man confused with someone else, surely.
Almost.
Right?
Yeah, with like almost. Right.
No, because, okay, are you on Cage Match?
I can get there.
Click Goliath in this Habu defeats Goliath.
Okay, all right.
I think they've got him mixed up with another man who calls himself Goliath, because look at the match history of this dude.
Oh, yeah, he's like a German. Oh, this is his only match ever
Germany.
In Japan. Yeah, he came for one. So I'm led to believe this man who's been wrestling in Germany since 2018 has shown up at the Ultimate Spider Jr. 20th anniversary show in Osaka to lose to Habu in 225. And then back on the plane. I think you're onto something, Joe. I don't think this is the real Goliath. This is a different Goliath.
I know the Cage Match boys listen to this. They've made changes based on our recommendations.
Yeah. Look into this.
Somebody clicked the wrong Goliath, and the 6'8" was my tip off. Goliath is Hiroaki Taniguchi is Goliath, and somebody clicked the German Goliath. And I just, listen, much like our German friends over at Cage Match, I'm only interested in things being accurate. So I'm tipping them off that was in fact a mistake.
Right. The other Goliath, who is 6 foot tall and
makes
200 pounds
sense.
and wrestles in Osaka Pro very regularly, that's probably the guy.
Right. So anyway.
I was wondering where we were setting it up, because I'm like, no, he was pretty not 6'8". He was pretty normal sized.
Yeah, just identifying an error. So Rogue Nation, in this case, Shu Asakawa, Toru, and Yasutaka Usera defeat the Vertex team. This is the big feud, Rogue Nation versus Vertex. Ryuya Mutsufasa, Suzaku, and Taida, our boy Taida, who was not featured on this show, even though he was getting the big push at the start of the year when he was kicked out of Rogue Nation and joined the babyface Vertex, whatever they call themselves, Vertex group. So Rogue Nation picks up the deuce here in this 6-man tag, which, again, just very, very solid action, well worked, good pace. These guys, look, they work together. They work a more frequent schedule than people might think. It just doesn't, a lot of it doesn't make tape. So they're working together all the time, and it shows. It's very similar to Dragon Gate in that regard, where these guys just have it all down, and it's just a bunch of excellent workers, some of which are a little limited from a charisma standpoint, some of which are a little limited from a look standpoint and from a size standpoint, but these guys can all go.
Absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of these, there are a couple guys, including Suzaku, is a former Dragon Gate guy, came up in the Dragon Gate system or whatever. And it's for people that have never watched Osaka Pro, it does kind of feel, it's not on, the highs aren't as high as like, classic Dragon Gate, but it has that feel of the classic Dragon Gate where it's like, they're having matches nobody else can have, because it's this tight-knit group that all kind of learned under the same umbrella and work together constantly, doing all these shows all over, so it's because of that, you have these guys like Tsubasa and Billy Ken Kid. They could close their eyes and have like a 4-star match, because they've wrestled with each other and against each other 10 billion times over the last 20 years or whatever. So they just, and that's true up and down the roster. And it shows in terms of just how smooth everything is and how just well worked everything is that you could tell this is a tight-knit roster that is also talented too, because it's one thing to have a small roster and half the guys stink, but almost nobody stinks on this roster. Everyone has a certain level, and the people that stink are basically comedy guys, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. But for the most part, your core roster members are all pretty fucking good workers. So I think that's what I usually get when I watch these shows, is that it's just, you end up watching the show and going like, man, like all these guys, there's like 12 guys on this roster that are all like really good workers. Nobody is great. Nobody is a star. Nobody has jump off the page charisma and all that sort of stuff. That's why they're in Osaka Pro, but they're all real solid as fuck workers. So it makes it a very fun show to watch.
So the 4-way for the comedy title. Take it away, Rich Creech.
Okay, you have the bodyguard who was Joichiro Osaka. The bodyguard. He was out there. They kept playing music because they would do a standoff where he would face the other three guys.
No. The bodyguard is Macho Samurai.
Who the fuck is Joichiro?
Right?
Oh, that's right. He's the freaking boxer. Yeah, that's right. You're confusing.
Sorry.
No,
but I didn't watch this, so that's why I told you to take it away. So I'm not.
It was pretty stupid. It sometimes these matches are kind of funny. This one wasn't. Basically, what they would do is all three of the guys were scared of Bodyguard, Macho Samurai.
Yeah.
So, but they would do this. They would do a standoff, and then they would play music, like they were. It was like it's hard to describe. It's very stupid. Don't watch it.
And that's why I didn't watch it. So,
like they Bodyguard would be on one side of the ring, the other three guys would be on the other side of the ring, and they would play like, be like, boom, boom, and it's like, oh, doom, they're not gonna be able to beat the Bodyguard up, and then they would, and then you were probably better off.
I'm doing an Osaka Pro review where I skipped the comedy match, and somewhere Joe Gagne is doing that meme of the guy on the airplane taking off the headphones, making the face. You know that meme of the guy taking off?
With the look on his face. Yeah, right.
I think he's like some soccer coach or something. That's what I always thought he was. Like he's taking off his headphones and making a disgusted face. I think he's sitting on an airplane or something. That's Joe Gagne right now listening to an Osaka Pro review where I skipped the comedy match. He's like, he's done with this. He's like,
skip the Ebasan match, and he's just like, that's not a pure Osaka Pro review.
That's right.
You have to review the comedy match. You can't not review it.
I have put in enough time, and I have reached a distinguished enough age to where I don't have to watch this shit if I don't want to watch it. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
What do you think of that, Rich Craig?
I think you're well in your rights to do that. So,
tag team title match: Aran Sano and Tiger's Mask coming off a successful title defense from the anniversary show that I just discussed. That they showed almost in full on the clip show where they defeated Matsufusa and who'd they beat? Yeah, Matsufusa and Mizuno. They defend here against the Anniversary Boys, Tako Yokita and Ultimate Spider Jr.
I certainly had my money on the guys the show was named after, and it ended up being a pretty good bet.
Excellent match again. I've talked about Aran Sano and Tiger's Mask a million times. I think Aran Sano, for the 30 under 30 as a 23-year-old wrestler, I thought he got robbed, and he was an honorable mention. I don't see how this guy, if you can find 30 wrestlers under 30 better than this guy, I just don't think you can do it. I don't think you can do it. He's so good. And Tiger's Mask is the perfect partner for him.
Yes.
This grumpy old fuck, Murayama. and I know I've made this comp before, and it's a really weird comp, but I think they are my idealized version of what the Knockout Brothers try to be. Because this is like the Joe Lanza version of what the Knockout Brothers are doing. Like there's no gimmick. There's no gimmick here. I think Sano's a better wrestler than Yuto Ice. I don't even know if that would be considered controversial if you've seen both of them work. And I think if I were Oscar, okay, I'd be watching Tiger's Mask tape.
I don't think he could do anything that Tiger's Mask does.
In the sense that the dynamic between the two partners, I think Tiger's Mask understands his role in this tag team and what he's supposed to be. And I think that Oscar can get a lot from that. Because I think they're similar tag teams. I really believe they're similar tag teams in terms of each guy's role, right? And I think Oscar is never going to match the grumpy intensity of a Tiger's Mask. Where are you ever going to get a sentence like that on another wrestling podcast?
Find me another one, yeah.
Oscar is never going to match the grumpy intensity of a Tiger's Mask.
A 51-year-old or whatever the fuck Tiger's Mask. Yeah.
But he's so good.
He's still very good. He's still really, really
God,
good.
like this tag team is the perfect thing for him. They are my tag team of the year through 6 months of the year. Iran Sano and Tiger's Mask. They never let me down. I love everything they do. Sano, in relation to where he works, is a future star. There's levels here. I don't think he's ever going to be main event in the Tokyo Dome for New Japan. But he's a future star here on this level of Japanese pro wrestling. He's so good. Even with his dopey Pete Rose bowl cut, he can do with improving the look.
Yeah,
okay?
the looks. Yeah, he's got a dopey haircut and a little bit of a gut. He could probably tighten that up a little bit.
Yeah, he's a chubby boy, and but look, meat and potatoes pro wrestler is what he is, and Tiger's Mask is the perfect partner for him. Just, I took this great picture of him celebrating with the belt after their last night.
Yeah, I took a picture too.
With Tiger's Mask in the background, just looking over his shoulder, like, look at this fucking kid. He's my partner, and he disgusts me. It's just the dynamic between them is so good.
Like, you could buy that when the match is over, Tiger's Mask gets back in the locker room, throws the title down, sits on a chair, lights up a cigarette, and Sano's like, hell of a match, man. That was great. And he's like, there were several things we did wrong there. We almost lost these titles, and it's like never happy, always like, the tag. You almost missed that tag. It would have really fucked us up here.
Yeah, I mean,
it's always like kind of your classic basketball coach is like miserable. They win a game, and it's like, we almost lost that game. It's like, all right, well,
this is when it comes to putting together tag teams, you have to find that chemistry, and it sometimes comes from the oddest places. Who would think that these two guys would work so well together, but they do. And they lost the titles here because, like you said, the 2 anniversary boys win the belts. I didn't necessarily think it was a lock, but it's fine that they did it. And those guys are both excellent workers as well. They're, Ultimate Spider Jr., obviously one of the harder push guys in the promotion. And it was just it was a kick-ass match, and the focus was on the 2 anniversary fellas, and they ended up winning those titles. And I'm looking forward to see if they keep Sano and Tiger's Mask together, or if this maybe is that kind of, because a lot of times these tag teams, they have their little tag team run, and then it's time to do something else. I'm sure they want to do more with Sano.
I was going to say, with Sano, they're going to want to move him up the ladder a little bit.
But I think that would be a shame. I want to see them go back after these belts. I want to see them win the belts back. They're my favorite tag team in wrestling, and I think they've been the best tag team of 2026. Andy, what are your thoughts on
this? They're a great team. I would also say with this match, what's going to be great too is if you go watch this, which is available for free on YouTube, by the way. So we'll try to link it in the show notes, but if not, you can find it on Osaka Pro's YouTube channel. I love, and I used to get this from Kyushu Pro, and I would watch them too. And it's something that I've decided I really, really enjoy and probably should watch more. Is these regional Japanese promotions are just a blast because the fans there are they just adore this wrestling.
I'm glad you brought that. Talk about the heat, because I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, and the crowd was nuts this entire night, because it's like usually it's these tiny shows and these like tiny little buildings in Osaka or whatever, and the crowd that's there just fucking loves these wrestlers. These are their wrestlers. This is their promotion in Osaka. And there's a certain and Kyushu has the same thing where it's like, some of the big promotions will come here every so often, but these are our guys. These are the guys that are here every single week, and they're busting their ass, and it's like they're seen as the bigger stars. They're seen as like, and on this night, man, Ultimate Spider, this crowd, anytime he's in the ring, the fans are just chanting, Spider, 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 the whole time, just screaming his name and wanting him to win and just rooting for these guys so badly to get the win and win these titles. And that was true the entire night. And I think that's something that anytime I watch Osaka Pro, when I watch Kyushu Pro, which I would like to maybe start getting back to, and it's just Michinoku Pro, you get it sometimes, classic Michinoku Pro, you get it in. I don't know as much anymore. I don't follow as much of the modern Michinoku Pro, but these like regional Japanese, these smaller regional Japanese promotions, these fans just adore these guys because these are their dudes. You know what I mean? Billy Ken Kid is their guy. Subasa's their guy. This is their region, their promotion. So there's a certain pride here of that we're watching, wrestlers from that represent our area of the country, and there's this it's just really, really cool to watch it. And it's just really a lot of kids in the audience too, so you always get a lot of good reactions from them too. So I don't know, it's just a lot of fun to watch these shows. They're 2 hours in and out, hot crowds, solid as fuck wrestling, good veteran workers, good young workers. I mean, there's what more do you need, man? This is it. That's all I need. I'm a simple man, Joe. I'm a simple man.
Doesn't overstay its welcome, these shows. Probably, what was it, under 2 hours?
Yeah, 156, I think it was.
Yeah. So,
And that's with a lot of Gaga too. You could if you wanted to.
Oh yeah.
You got the intro video, which we always put over the Osaka Pro intro video, which gives you the whole. And by the way, you can also do the audio translated subtitles on YouTube too if you want to know what they're saying. But the thing that we always put over is they catch up on all the stories and then they go through the entire roster, and it doesn't take long. The roster's not very big, but you get a picture of every member of the roster and their name and their affiliation, and you move on. So you know who everybody is and who they're affiliated with, and largely you know what stories they're involved in because they'll play like, a 10-minute clip before the show starts, and you're good to go. And then you can just jump in. But it's really not that hard to figure out.
Yeah. No, you watch a couple shows, you know what's up. Small roster, so it's not that difficult. You might have trouble telling guys apart, like the masked guys, but you get the hang of it after a while. Yeah. So another solid outing. I've really been enjoying their year. It's like I always say, I will continue to keep up with Osaka Pro as long as it remains interesting. And right now it's still interesting. So I'm going to keep watching it. And same goes for 0-1. An update on that. The Fire Festival gets going. They had their final show on 6/6, the final non-Fire Festival show. Still waiting for those matches to pop up. And they still have not. So when they get that 6/6 show, the June 6th show up, I will review that. And then Fire Festival is starting in a couple days. I want to say the 12th. Let me check on that. So how I'm going to handle that is, how I was going to handle it was behind the paywall, doing the reviews as they pop up. Obviously, there's going to be a couple day delay, with the nature of the getting up on the app. But you said you wanted to keep up with it. So maybe we'll do some of it here on this show, depending where the shows fall and, what we can get watched and when. But I will say this, every Fire Festival show will be covered. So in some form or another, whether behind the paywall or here.
Sounds good. Yeah.
And the date on that is 13th in Shinkiba is where it kicks off. So we've got a couple more days. And then it's going to take a couple more days from there for the show to pop up. So Masato Tanaka versus Jiro, Suji Ishikawa versus Runosuke Nagai, and Hayabusa versus Katsuhiko Nakajima. So coming out right on fire.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good start. Hell yeah.
And Sugu Takasato versus Koji Doi. So one match from 2 matches from each block. So, we have Jiro night 1, but we also have Nakajima versus Hayabusa.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I'll let Jiro do Jiro things. Here's the thing with Jiro. It's you can skip like 20 minutes of the video because he's just going to do his jacket thing and run around the arena. So you at least have that benefit. It's over. It's like, it's over. So it's like, wow, all right, fine, whatever.
The good thing, though, is the good thing about this is the next show isn't until the 21st. There's 8 days in between, which means there's plenty of time for them to upload it and get it reviewed before the next show even happens.
Yeah, see?
And then there's a week in between the second and third show. And then, now they do have back-to-back on July 4th and July 5th. But outside of that back-to-back and then another back-to-back later, July 25th and July 26th, other than those 2 back-to-back nights, there is at least a week between all of the shows.
That's good.
6 to 8
yeah,
days
you're not going to get that
shows.
G1 slog where you're like, oh my God, I just got done watching night 7. Night 8's tonight. Fuck, I just did you get caught in that, especially when you're doing daily reviews or recaps or whatever. It's just, man, you get caught in that cycle where it's like, fuck, I just got done watching this one. Now I got to do a show about it and then watch the other one. You're caught up in that. Yeah, you don't have to do that with the Fire Festival. That's pretty good. That's good.
Now, remember, the final on August 7th, that's Korakuen Hall. It's going to be their big show of the year. So, and listen, the July 5th show is in KBS Hall with the stained glass. So, some interesting venues for the Fire Festival, including, Korakuen Hall.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you for sure that final has to be on the Flagship. We've done the Fire Festival in the past when it showed up on so that is 100% a Flagship topic. We'll see about the other ones.
Yeah. It depends where they fall and when they come up and who's watched and everything. But we will be covering that. And as far as Osaka Pro, well, when they put shows out, we'll cover them.
Yeah.
There might not be another
I
show
don't know.
until fucking October.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, last year they had like 4 full shows up by February and then disappeared and then never put anything up the rest of the year.
Gone. Yeah. And I was afraid that's what was going to happen again, but at least we got something. So, all right. All Japan. And then I think that's it, right? Just
hold on. We'll get what was the Enzo Amore thing? You told me we had to talk about Enzo Amore.
Oh,
you said cleaner.
Yeah.
I got this cleaner, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
All right, well, yeah, I forgot the contract stuff. You want to do that before?
Let's do that, and then we'll do All Japan. Wrap it up.
All right, so we have what do we got contract?
Steve Maclin has departed TNA.
Yeah.
TNA wrote on their website, TNA Wrestling has come to terms with the release of Steve Maclin and Myla Grace. I guess they also released Myla Grace, but who cares? Effective immediately. We wish them the best in their future endeavors.
Wow. Who cares?
Who cares about Myla Grace? No, nobody cares. You don't care about Myla Grace. Nobody cares about Myla Grace. Per Fightful Select, quote, Maclin had hoped to keep word of his departure quiet, but TNA issued a press release announcing it. They rarely do that, and didn't consult Myla Grace or Maclin ahead of the decision.
I thought Maclin asked out.
So he did, but then he's mad that they posted it on the website.
Oh.
He's kind of being a dork here.
Who cares?
Yeah,
why is he being a big
gone.
baby about it?
Like, I know you're gone. Who cares, dude?
He asked out and he got what he wanted.
You're right, and he's out.
So what's his problem?
I don't know.
Didn't he have a problem last time around with his contract too, where he didn't want to be there and they renewed him on an option or something?
I think something like that.
I recall something like that. So he's been trying to get out of there for a while. Here's the thing with Steve Maclin. He's a good worker, and he will work hard, and he will bleed, and he'll do all of those things. Steve Maclin has the charisma of the fucking desk I'm sitting at. That's the problem. There's a ceiling there with that guy outside of TNA. In TNA, he can get pushed all the way to the top, as we've seen. Smaller pond, all of that. Talent, he's going to have more talent than a lot of the people there. His work ethic is going to shine through. I think that if Steve Maclin ends up with AEW or if he ends up back with WWE, and I think it's very much likelihood that he probably already has his next landing spot planned, which is why he wanted out to begin with, right? It's pretty obvious he's headed to one of those two places.
Right. I would assume AEW, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's going to be a mid-carder, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, he'll probably make more money as a mid-carder in one of those places, but he has, I would say, next to zero chance of ever getting a top-line push in either one of those companies.
No. He's got
nothing.
Not nothing. He does not enough in the charisma department to get there.
Not enough. Not enough charisma. Could he be now in AEW? I think, he could end up being a guy that they just stick in ROH and you forget that he's employed. That could easily happen to him. He could be a guy that ends up in AEW proper, but he's not going to get any higher than the mid card. He'd probably be best suited to find the right tag team partner. If he finds his own little tiger's mask, maybe he could find something that works. Maybe if AEW is the destination, Tony Khan has some $1 million idea and knows what he wants to do with him. WWE, would they stick him back in NXT? I mean, he's an older, more established guy now. You can't write it off. I mean, they put Ethan Page there, and Ethan Page has twice the charisma that Steve Maclin does. I think he would have an even harder time gaining any kind of ground or footing in WWE. I just don't think that's a good place for him at all. So my guess, and I know nothing, is that he probably sent feelers to AEW. It's probably where he's headed. And I just, as far as, I don't think he'll get anywhere close to the push that he got in his peak in TNA.
Oh, no. I think he tops out at like mid-carder at best, or maybe Ring of Honor. Could you give him the Ring of Honor championship? Sure. I don't think that would be
I even think that might be
worst. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The thing with him, and he's a good example of why having TNA as an actual alternative is good and healthy. Here's a guy who was in the WWE system for a decade, basically. I don't know if it was fully 10 years, but he was there forever. And he gets let go and totally reinvents himself in TNA.
Yeah.
And now gets to this point, 5 years later, where he can possibly sign with another company, maybe go back to
think
WWE.
he's obviously, he has something lined up.
Yeah, so that's cool. And that's why you want a TNA in the marketplace. That's why you want a true Ring of Honor in the marketplace, not like it is right now. That's why you want these alternative companies that are actually out there that guys can go to and reinvent themselves and change things. And that's really, really cool. And I'm glad that it exists. And the TNA that we know of, the TNA that existed in 2021 that Steve Maclin, former Steve Cutler, was able to join into or whatever the fuck. Was he Steve Cutler or was he something else? I guess he was Steve Cutler, right?
Was he Cutler? I think he was Cutler.
I think it was Steve Cutler.
One of those three guys.
I think it was Cutler. But no, it's like it's a perfect example of what the benefit of a true alternative and true options can be. Is somebody like this who, in 2021, when you release Steve Cutler from NXT, it's like, all right, well, that's the end of him. I mean, he's never going to do anything. And the guy, I'll give him credit, found a niche. Never really figured out in the charisma department, but figured out I can bleed buckets and I can work some pretty good matches here and there. And now, it's going to get presumably a bigger deal and go into, back to that company or to AEW. So it's cool. But that TNA that we're talking about does not exist anymore. And that Ring of Honor that used to be able to do these sort of things doesn't exist anymore. And that is not good for the business that these companies don't really exist in that same form anymore.
I mean, Santana's doing it there. It's doing the same thing.
Does the TNA that Santana went to exist anymore?
Well, I mean, he went there before the association. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if it's still a place where guys can go. I feel like it might be a place where guys can still go and improve their stock. WWE's kind of ignoring TNA again.
Mm-hmm. I talked about it last week. Yeah, AAA is the new shiny toy now. So,
yeah. So,
keep an eye on TNA contracts, by the way. We're just about at, what are we at, Joe? June.
6 months.
6 months from the debut on AMC. So
deals.
Keep an eye on TNA contracts.
Yeah. All right. What other contract stuff did we have?
Shun Skywalker. Anything else on Shun Skywalker? The Open the Voice Gate guys did a great episode that you must listen this week about Shun Skywalker. Obviously, you talked about it on Flagship Plus that you're here in New Japan is the destination. Anything else on Shun Skywalker?
No, and they heard the same thing, and I didn't even talk to those guys about it. So we had the same, we heard the same rumblings and put it out a few hours apart. So it sure seems like everyone in Japan feels like he's New Japan bound. So we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, and
New
last week I
Japan
talked about where Dragon Dia. I remember how I was like, oh, what's happening with Dragon Dia? Like, I thought he was going into New Japan. And somebody pointed out to me, this wasn't like, this is what's happening, but they were just kind of saying like, maybe connect some dots here. Tiger Mask is going to retire here pretty soon. And they said, don't rule out Dragon Dia being the new Tiger Mask.
Right.
So that might be why he's kind of in mothballs right now. Tiger Mask retires, maybe, something like that. They weren't saying that he's going to be the new Tiger Mask, just more like this is a possible reason why he hasn't been around.
Sure, would make sense.
Is we're waiting for Tiger Mask to retire.
He's also a junior, and you can't just debut in the middle of Super Juniors. Right. So it's got to be the right spot. But yes, that is a definite possibility. No doubt about it. So that's really the latest on Shun, and I talked briefly about it behind the paywall on the last Flagship Plus, and the Open the Voice Gate guys, a 2-hour show. Mostly, a lot of it centered around the Shun Skywalker situation. So who else we got on the contract stuff here?
Well, you told me Enzo Amore. I have no idea
listen,
what the new story is on Enzo Amore. So
what do you mean? Well, Enzo was spotted at the Performance Center a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a lot of talk about Big Cass maybe becoming available as Big Bill, as he's known as, his contract's coming due. So I have here, Rich Craig, I have here a press release from from one of my favorite independent promotions, Fourth Rope.
Oh,
this is yes. So I have information here.
How are you on the Fourth Rope press release?
Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to.
Okay.
So I've got this press release that was sent to me from my favorite. Now listen, Fourth Rope, West Side Gun.
You're big. Their group. You know the group, so I'm not going to fill it in for you. But yeah, you're a big fan of West Side Gun's rap group, right?
Yes, and his partner Smoke DZA, two guys who run the Fourth Rope promotion.
EITA, yes.
Yes. So, as the press release states, that Fourth Rope is a revolutionary independent wrestling promotion where professional wrestling and hip-hop culture collide, known for its underground aesthetic, exclusive merchandise, and roster of both hungry up-and-comers and legendary veterans. Fourth Rope is rapidly becoming a major player in the global wrestling landscape. A statement I agree with, by the way. So I got this press release, and we're going to clear up some things on Enzo Amore here. So I don't know if you knew this, but hip-hop heavyweight and Fourth Rope co-founder Smoke Dizza officially confirmed that reigning flyweight champion Enzo Amore, a.k.a. The Real One.
The Real One, yep. Mm-hmm.
Will be in action
Oh.
at the highly anticipated July 4th event at the Essence Fest in New Orleans. This announcement comes as a direct response to rapidly swirling dirt sheet rumors.
Oh, the dirt sheets.
Suggesting that the charismatic superstar is fielding interest from WWE.
The charismatic superstar.
Yes. This confirmation dropped during a recent episode of the Wrestling Hang live stream hosted by David Otunga. During this extensive
This is a Mad Lib.
sit-down,
I don't like this Mad Lib anymore. I want to get off this ride. I don't like this.
discussing the intersection of hip-hop and wrestling, Otunga brought up Enzo's recent hot streak and the mounting speculation that the major companies are looking to scoop him up.
Is
listen,
he on a win streak? What? Let me go to Enzo Amore.
He's on a hot streak.
Is
He's
he?
the flyweight champion. What are you talking about?
Well, let me see what his performance
You
has
don't
been
need to
looking
listen.
like.
We don't listen. Come on. Just take it for what it's worth. Addressing the noise head on, Smoke Dizza made it clear where the champ is going to be Independence Day. Here's the quote, Rich. You ready for the quote?
Let's do it.
Quote, as far as you know, the rumors, because I see the dirt sheets too. I don't really know, Dizza stated on the stream, but he's our flyweight champion, and you know we got Essence Fest on July 4th, and he will be there. The Real One is a big money man, and that guy is big money, Dizza explained. I watched him rebuild himself from the ground up, and I'm so proud of that dude because he's very, very instrumental in what we do. Enzo is one of the most brilliant wrestling minds I've ever met, end quote. So there you go. July 4th, New Orleans, Essence Fest. The Hills Have Eyes 13.
I'll be there.
The wrestling world watches closely to see if Enzo Amore will return Monday nights, but fans of raw, unfiltered, independent wrestling, they can guarantee you'll see him defend his turf at Fourth Rope's most historic show to date. This is the first ever wrestling show at Essence Fest in New Orleans, and it's headlined by Enzo Amore, a.k.a. The Real One.
Yep.
So there's the scoop straight from Fourth Rope, which I received the press releases of.
I'm kind of jealous. I want the press releases from Fourth Rope.
It's too bad. I get the Fourth Rope.
You're on the
press
list. Well,
releases.
you and Westside Gun and Smoke DZA are best of buds.
That's right.
You let them know about your prior Raekwon friendships, and they're like, "Oh, this is a real one here. Not the real one, but you're a real one."
I can never be the real one.
No, not real one with the number. Like you're a real, lowercase r, real one spelled out.
Well, he's not the real one with the number either. He's the real one spelled out. I think there's some copyright stuff with the real one with the number happening.
Oh
too,
man.
So
Okay. Well,
but we all know he's so real that you just know.
it's just real. So, I'm not sure he has the momentum of a runaway train that they are describing. So now he has defended this Fourth Rope flyweight title several times, just not a lot recently. Not this calendar year.
Yeah.
But he's had the title for 419 days. So last defense was December 5th against Chris Farrow at the Tank Brewing Company in Miami, Florida for CCW Bash at the Brew. That's the you watch Coastal Championship Wrestling. You watch them during Mania weekend.
Yeah, I think, as Enzo would say, you're just a hater. That's what's happening here. You're just a hater.
Just a hater. Well, I'll be there at Essence Fest to watch Enzo.
Will you?
I won't be, but
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. But did they offer you media tickets or credentials there?
We'll keep that close to the vest.
Okay,
It's a 9-hour drive. I can make it over there.
I was gonna say you can make it. You've made it before.
I've made it
for
before.
wrestling. You've made the drive for wrestling. Why not this time?
I have.
July 4th.
multiple times. 4th of July. My wife will love that. What are you doing 4th of July? I'm
Later. I gotta
going to watch the real one defend his flyweight title at 4th Rope.
Yeah.
4th Rope does a nice job. A lot of money put.
A lot of money. They they do like elaborate sets and like everything looks good. It all looks solid as hell. It's
You know what I like about it? They don't give a fuck if you're canceled. They'll book anyone.
that is remarkable.
Yeah,
They should book Davey Richards. Somebody asked me who I wanted to see come back.
Yeah, book Davey Richards.
And it was like a Q&A, and someone's like, who's a wrestler that's not around anymore that you want to see come back? And I'm like, you don't want to hear my answer. And I was like, actually, you do. It's Davey Richards. I don't care what he did. Whatever. The guys.
Bring him back. 4th Rope.
They don't care. Yeah, they had that one Mania weekend show that was like that Battle Royal was
Royal Rumble. Everyone who came out was
44% canceled men that came out of the Battle Royal.
And Rich, what happened?
Nothing.
Did anyone go to jail?
Nobody cares.
What happens? Somebody sends out a tweet tisking them. Nothing happens. So just book them.
I'm trying to look at that. Let me try to find this Battle Royal. It's incredible. The heels have eyes. So you had Real One, AJ Francis, AJ Gray. So that's what we'll do. Cancellation count. We're at 2 right now. Yes. Brian Keith, Cha-Cha Charlie. I don't know anything about Cha-Cha Charlie. I'm not sure. I'm sure he's fine.
God, WrestleMania weekend staple, unfortunately.
EJ Nduka. He's fine. I think. Elijah. I think he's fine.
He's all right.
Isaiah Bronner. I think he's fine.
He's all right.
Joe Alonzo.
Joe Alonzo, close.
He's close. He is your AAW world champion, by the way, as well. So he's picked up some gold here in Chicago. John Wayne Murdoch, Kenny King, King King, Kevin Blackwood, Kevin Knight. Not as many canceled guys as I thought. Mance Warner, Mo Jabari, Nick Nemeth, Odyssey.
Yes.
Yeah. He's in Japan, not by choice, but
Odyssey.
Yeah, Richard Halliday, Rich Swan, Sidney Akeem, Tommy Dreamer. I forgot. Yeah, Swanza.
I think we got to throw him in there.
Yeah. Swanza, a borderline candidate. Sidney Akeem, and then Tommy Dreamer. So there's like 5, but that's a lot. That's a lot.
5 out of 20 or something.
That's a lot for a modern indie show. And nothing happened. Nobody cared.
No, nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Oh, that was a fantastic Enzo Amore update. I didn't. You said cleaner. I got this, and I didn't believe you, but you got it.
Yeah, that's big Enzo news.
All right, so All Japan Super Power Series 2026 Night 3. I only watched the main event, the All Japan Pro Wrestling World Tag Team Title match. I did not watch the rest of the show. Did you watch the rest of the show? And if so, is there anything you would like to?
No, We'll talk about the main event. Listen.
Okay.
If Aran Sano and Tiger's Mask are my favorite tag team this year and my running favorites for tag team of the year, number 2 is the Titans of Calamity. I unironically love this team. And I think that, and half of it is Rena Yabe. So think about that.
One of your least favorite wrestlers in the world, but
they have all Japan. They've created something in Talos, a guy that no one has been able to figure out what to do with this 7-foot guy. And, at Billy has had a crack at him. I think WWE has had a crack at this guy. Juggalo champion shit wrestling has had a crack at this dude. They couldn't figure out how to get this guy over. You know who got him over? All Japan got him over. And this is a legitimate 7-foot guy. And he's working hard for them. He got the Titans booked in the Crockett Cup. They won the Crockett Cup. They were the All Japan Tag Team Champions when they went over there. And they had a main event here against the Saitos. Rich, this building, we've seen New Japan run this building. We've seen other promotions run this building and not fill it, like for random tour shows or whatever. And they didn't fill every seat in this building. But they drew over 2,000 fans, 2118 for this thing. And everyone knows this building if you see it. It's got like the second level seating with the red seats. And on the other side, I think the seats are green. The only seats that were empty were on the very far edges of the top of the upper deck section.
Yeah, it looks great.
The floor was packed. Now, they might not have had as many chairs on the floor as maybe New Japan does, but I don't know the answer to that. All I know is this atmosphere was outstanding for this show and particularly for this main event match. And I'm going to say something and people are going to think I'm insane. And I don't care. When this match, once they got done with the walk-in brawl portion of it, right? Because they did a walk-in brawl around the building and all of that. And it was getting tons of heat because the Saitos are over and the Titans are over.
Also, they were going like into the bowels of the arena, and that was getting really over in front of this crowd. Like they thought, because it's a unique thing to go like truly backstage, and these guys were walking up ramps and in the back and in like the bay doors and stuff. It's like every Attitude Era brawl you've ever seen, but for this crowd, it was like, oh, they're going upstairs, they're going in the bathroom, they're in the loading dock. Like this is incredible. So it was fun.
Now, what I'm about to say, but I truly mean it. Once we hit the closing stretch of this thing, when we got back into the ring, now these are obviously not great workers, none of them. I think the Saitos, particularly June, they know their limitations. They know what they can do. They work within those limitations. Sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't. I think Talos has done a great job in All Japan, utilizing his size, working within his limitations. Renayabe is what he is. But when this match hit the home stretch and it got really good and you had this packed by modern standards All Japan crowd, and let's be fair, even during some of All Japan's glory days, they would run some shows in buildings about this size with 2,000 or 3,000 people in them. And this felt alive. This felt vibrant in a way that All Japan shows often don't. The crowd was super hot for this. And in the closing stretch of this match, I felt a little bit of classic All Japan. I felt it. Now, are these guys anywhere close to the workers? No, of course not. But the vibes and the structure of the closing stretch and the heat from this crowd and the way that they were so emotionally attached to everything. And then the Saitos winning the titles back.
Everybody was big, too. That's the other thing. There wasn't any twinky little skinny guys.
Yes,
they
a
were
bunch of big fucking dudes.
They're all big beef boys, yeah. Renayabe
Huge
being
guys.
the smallest guy, obviously, but he's tall.
And he's like 6'7" or whatever he is. I don't know how tall he is, 6'5". And this just, it for a few minutes there, I'm like, for the first time in a long time, they have captured the essence of classic All Japan. And I felt it. And look, was this Misawa and Kobashi versus the Holy Demon Army? Of course it wasn't. But as far as the energy in the building and the way the closing stretch was structured, I felt it, man. And the Saitos win the titles, and the way that Ayabe and Talos just sold it in their eyes. Like it really meant something to lose these belts as the Saitos were cutting that promo and they were watching from the outside.
As Dream Warriors playing in the background. And
with death in their eyes, like, these are our fucking belts, you know? And man, I loved this match, you know, and not because it was some 5-star classic, not because it's going to be on my match of the year list or anything like that, but because it felt like pro wrestling. It made me feel alive when I was watching it. And it reminded me in the strangest way. You'd never think so. It reminded me like I was watching 1991 All Japan for at least a few minutes there. So it's just nice when I can see, everyone knows I'm down on pro wrestling right now. Overall, it's just nice when something just lands with me like this match did. So I really loved it.
I was a big fan of the closing stretch. Now, this match, how it happened in real time is they're doing their brawling in the crowd and backstage, and I'm just not really digging it at all. So, you know, I jump into our Slack and I forget. I was saying something. I was just like, yeah, I'm watching the, you know, I think I was like, the New Japan undercard's boring me, so I'm going to watch this, you know, All Japan tag match now, and then I'll go back to that undercard later. And I talk about this match, and Alan Cunahan, Alan Forel, says, "Oh, you going 5 on All Japan tag?" And I'm like, "What is he talking about?" I was like, "It's going to need one hell of a closing stretch, Alan." So no, I don't think so. And goddamn, 25 minutes later, I'm like, Alan, I don't know, maybe. Like, it wasn't incredible. The end of this match fucking ruled. It was so good. I mean, it was like, I know he meant that in jest, but when it was over, I was like, I don't know. That was an amazing closing stretch. Like, I don't think I'm going 5 on it, but God, it was great because it was just, I think the point that I brought up, how big everybody was. It was just, it felt like a Titanic event that these two giant teams are just double choke slamming each other, double clotheslining each other, and screaming and snarling and spitting and sweating. And yeah, no little guys, no Twinkie guys, none of that. It was just fellas. Like big fucking strong looking guys just out there throwing bombs at one another and kicking out and just, yeah, it was, the crowd adores the Saitos. And even though, yeah, I'm not as big on them as a lot of people are. I like June, but Rai Saito, you can have him. I don't really need him but as a tag team, they work. As a tag team, they work a lot better. As singles, June's okay. The other guy, he can't do anything, so they do kind of work a little bit better as a tag team. But yeah, it was just, I think that was the biggest thing that I got from it, is just how important and how cool it is sometimes to see big dudes that can work and go in there, and crowds still respond to that. Crowds will always respond to a couple of big dudes or two big tag teams go in there and just, throw bombs at one another and grunt and just make that ring rattle with every move that they're doing. And that's what you got throughout this entire match. And it really, it delivered, and the crowd just 100% invested in the Saitos winning it. And like you said, too, the Titans of Calamity cared that they lost those titles, where it would really hurt them that they no longer are the champions. It's like you could see them, we got to get these titles back as soon as possible. Face these assholes. We'll beat them next time. But no, the closing stretch of this match, you're gonna watch this. If you go back and watch this, you're gonna get to the same point we both were 10 minutes in and be like, I don't know, guys, there's nothing happening here. This is pretty boring. And then 15 minutes later, you'll be like, motherfucker, that match rocked. How good was that? It was, the closing stretch was, just can't put that over enough.
I had you mentioned Alan 4 days ago. I had a message waiting for me in the morning. It says, as soon as you wake up, log into AJPW.TV and watch Titans versus Saitos! Exclamation point from Alan. So he was very excited about this match, clearly, when he watched it and knew that I was going to dig it. So I'm not surprised that he saw you talking about it and jumped all over you. Yeah, it was just a very entertaining match. So, and really the atmosphere in that building, I can't say enough how, man, because All Japan has struggled with atmosphere for how long now? And
the things have turned a corner. Things the last 6 months to a year, things have really turned the corner for All Japan. I mean, they feel there was that year and a half where it was like the doldrums, like you said, real doldrums. And even then, like even before that, there'd be good matches, but maybe the crowd and the atmospheres weren't that great. But now the matches are been pretty good, and the crowds have been really good, and the numbers are looking pretty good. I mean, things are looking up for All Japan, and I'm glad. I like when All Japan is good. I really do. It stunk when they were a promotion that I didn't want to watch. I want to watch them, and they're doing well. I mean, it's whether it's Go, whether it's the Saitos, whether it's just a lot of things.
I really enjoyed the Carnival. We're going to get that Hideki Suzuki title shot against Kento Miyahara's coming up. So, they've been an enjoyable promotion. Along with Osaka. So, tag match was really good stuff. Big Triple Crown match coming up. Go Shiozaki with the Great Carnival Tournament. So, All Japan's been real good.
All right, so that is it for this episode of The Flagship. Next week is probably going to be another weird episode. We're trying to figure that out right now. If it might happen on a Tuesday, it might happen on a Wednesday. It might be me and a special guest. It might be me and Joe on Wednesday. We don't know. We got to figure that all out. The summer months get a little tricky around here with vacations and things going on. So we will let you know as soon as we can what's going to happen with next week's Flagship. But it will not be the normal Thursday live. We're doing this one on a Wednesday because of things coming up, but next week will not be a Thursday live show. It will be something else next week. So we will let you know as soon as we know what we're going to be doing for next week's Flagship. But plenty of topics to get to, of course, with Dominion and some other things going on in the world of wrestling. So we will talk about that next week in some form or fashion. So flagshippatreon.com for all of our bonus content, written content, audio content, large archive of archives of content up there at flagshippatreon.com. So $5 tier, $10 tier, also have the $1 tier if you want to get some trial tier stuff as well as a free tier. We always talk about that free tier. You sign up for free and you can still access a bunch of the stuff and be on on the mailing list and know when new things get you get populated, new things get added to the Patreon, and you can subscribe from there. So flagshippatreon.com, plenty of content for you guys there. Voicesofwrestling.com for previews, reviews, and columns. And then, of course, voicesofwrestling.com/Discord if you want to join in the conversation on our Discord. So that is it for us. That is Joe. I'm Rich. Talk to you next time. Take care. Bye.
Hi, I'm Andrew Rich, and if you're like me, you look at the state of modern wrestling discourse and think, wow, what a cesspool. That's why I'm here to tell you about Music of the Mat Remix. That's right, your favorite wrestling music podcast is back with a new format, where I bring on a guest and we play songs related to wrestling-themed topics. It could be a wrestling reference, a wrestling concept, a wrestling pun, things of that nature. Now you might be saying, Andrew, that is a very, very tenuous connection to pro wrestling on a wrestling podcast network. Is this just an excuse to hang out with your friends and talk about music and ignore the rest of the wrestling landscape? Yes. Yes, it is. So listen to Music of the Mat Remix on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, available on Apple, Spotify, or your podcast player of choice.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.